Off to the races. Episode number 2.
Episode number 2. Number 1 was a bitch to edit.
Yeah.
We fucked up a lot. We're learning. This will be better, maybe. Fucking maybe, dude. If you join my live stream to help me learn Adobe Premiere Pro, you're a real one.
Yeah. I joined that live stream too, just to watch.
Yeah, and all you do is go Autopod. Put it in Autopod. I'm like, motherfucker, it's an extension, dude.
I don't know anything.
You're not
computers.
You're not a real one if you just join me like use DaVinci, motherfucker. I don't even know what that is.
What is that?
It's another editing software. I found out later. Everyone's like, it's easier.
Oh.
I tell you, good old Stay Metal starting a podcast. And
Stay Mental.
Stay Mental. Sorry, I always say metal because he's in a metal band.
Yeah.
Stay Mental. He's
Narwhal's his band.
Yeah, I was in one of his music videos.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
We're gonna cut a lot of this out.
I was out of town that weekend.
But he used Autopod and it fucking edited it in like 2 seconds.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he sent me a video. I'll show it to you after. He sent me a video of it doing like in 2 seconds. Like, this is so great. And I was like, fuck you.
Wow.
I don't want to talk about it.
Wow.
Manually cut the whole podcast. So if it looks like ass, it's my fault.
Hey, Steven, if you're watching this, why don't you come over here? Fucking help us out.
Give us a kiss.
Yeah. I'll kiss your
No,
kiss your face.
Actually, the only reason I got to editing it is because he called me. We FaceTimed.
Okay.
Anyways, welcome to episode 2 of Meet Your Makers podcast. I'm Vandal, also Trey, now that everyone knows my name.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm joined by Holden, a.k.a. Gringo Tactical.
That's me.
Cue music.
Here we are. Hit that shit, Cooter.
Fucking cooter.
Oh, shit.
God, I love the music.
It's pretty damn good.
I love having cool friends who can do shit like this.
It's pretty good.
All right, so welcome to episode 2. A little bit less shenanigans today, more on track. This is going to be your first taste of what interviewing a maker. And today our maker is Holden.
What's up?
Good old Gringo Tactical. You know him. You love him.
That's me.
So we're going to spend this whole episode just diving into your life, who you are, what Gringo is. I know we talked a lot about it on episode 1, which is great, but we're doing a deeper dive in who Holden is. And then next episode, we'll talk about me and in my vanity. I'm all about that shit.
Yes, sir.
I'm really not, dude. I hate talking about myself.
I'm going to ask you all the good questions.
Sick. So let me take a sip real quick.
Yeah.
Getting a little cotton mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So, Holden.
Yes, sir.
Be as professional as I possibly can be.
Yes, sir.
In my pink polo.
All right. I love that thing, by the way.
Thanks, dude.
Great. We were talking about that before we started.
I'm in my scumbag dad era. It's nothing but sweatpants, wife beaters, and collared shirts from now on. And, you know, I don't like jewelry, but I had this custom one made.
Yeah?
It's my sad cowboy.
It's pretty sweet. Who made that?
I'm gonna mess up. I always call him K Momo, but I know that's wrong. It's Molo. I'll tag him in this.
Okay.
He does custom jewelry if you need anything. We have some really sick stuff in the works, and I'm so sorry I messed up your name, but I'm bad with names.
Gonna get me one of those like OG, like 3-finger rings that says Gringo across it.
If you want it in silver, for sure, dude. He can do it. He can do anything. Like, I don't want to ruin too much stuff, but he's doing some 3D ones for me. That like it's gonna get you stopped at TSA.
Good stuff.
The good stuff.
The good stuff.
Back on track. Holden.
Yes, sir.
I am super excited. So obviously I know a bit about your life, right? We spent like 2 hours at a bar drinking, having heart-to-hearts. I know the basics, but even before the podcast, we're talking a little bit, and there's a lot that I don't know. I'm excited to get into, like an inner city rugby team.
Mm-hmm. That's
so
true.
sick.
Yep.
So let's just start off. Just give us a little broad overview of just growing up. What was life like for young Holden? Where'd you spend your time? Where'd you grow up at? And we'll just dive in.
For sure. So pretty much started off with my dad was in the Marine Corps before I was born. I want to say he joined in the early 90s.
Okay.
Maybe late 80s. I'm not too sure. I'll have to get with him on that. But
Desert Shield, Desert Storm?
I'm not too sure. We've only talked about his military service like a few times.
Okay.
The goal is eventually is to bring him on here.
Oh, I would love that. Papa Gringo?
Yeah, so like you guys would be meeting the maker of Gringo. Right? How fucking funny would that be? Right?
So how was Holden made?
Yeah.
Go in graphic detail about it for us, please.
Okay. Well, based off of my birth, I'll let you.
No, just I meant for your dad. That's a question for your dad.
Just do some digging. You'll find out. I was conceived around Valentine's Day.
Oh, nice.
So, just try to figure out my birthday month after that.
I was a late night in a 99-cent condom, according to my dad.
A late night?
A late night in a 99-cent condom from Circle K. That's what my dad tells me. Yeah.
Wow. God bless.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Don't buy your condoms from Circle K. Or do. I'm fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, sure. Save $1. Why not? So yeah, Dad was in the Marine Corps. My mom and my dad met in the hometown of Parkersburg, West Virginia.
Hell yeah.
They got married. He graduated in '88. He joined the Marine Corps. She went with him. I was born in Jacksonville, North Kakalaki, at the Naval Hospital for the old cream corn at the time.
Nice.
I forget I used to know that specific housing area on Camp Lejeune where we lived at, but it's irrelevant now. But yeah, lived there, I want to say up until I was about 3. Mm-hmm. And then after that, my mom and dad got a divorce.
Okay.
And went back with my mom to West Virginia, where the majority of her side of the family was, and his side of the family too, my dad's side. And it was just kind of like, it was the direct result of just her basically being irresponsible with funds while he was away and deployed.
Okay.
Well, you know, that old chestnut.
Yeah, I get that.
It's a typical story across the board, ladies and gentlemen, for military people abroad.
My parents got divorced way later in my life, but a lot of it like stemmed from my mom's spending, women be shopping. But he wasn't even in the military at the time when all that stuff happened. But I can relate to that.
Yeah, and excuse me with my vaping. I'm a little nervous about today. We're new. I'm new. I'm getting used to all this podcasting stuff.
Talking a lot about yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's first time I'm opening up. You know, people.
We're here for you, everyone.
But yeah, they got divorced, moved back to West Virginia. I do have some memories of living on Camp Lejeune. Mm-hmm. First memory being my mom was holding a yard sale, and she had I want to say a Fisher-Price tricycle.
Okay, the red one?
Yeah, it was like red, yellow, blue.
Oh, like a big wheel?
Yeah, well, kind of. It was like, it had the pedals on the front. It was all the big, bulky plastic, kind of like those little single-seater cars. You know what I'm talking about? The yellow and red ones, the famous ones. It was kind of like that. But she had it on the blanket and she was trying to sell it. And I was like, well, what the fuck? I was like, hell no.
The ultimate betrayal.
I came out onto the front porch and I look over and I see my shit for sale. And I'm like, oh, hell no. So I come running down the stairs and I'm like throwing a fucking fit. And I mean, come to find out, it was because my mom was selling a lot of shit to cover some losses and other things. I don't know.
We say cover losses. Does that mean like gambling?
No. Just like, you know, because of the debt we were in at the time and everything. Fair. And, I mean, there's two sides to every story. I've heard both sides. Obviously, a lot more of my mother's side growing up than my dad's side, but I've also heard my dad's side, and his is a little bit more believable. Given my mother's track record with things. But But yeah, so I saw the tricycle out on the blanket, so I come storming down the stairs, come running down the sidewalk, get on the tricycle, and I just start fucking pedaling it down the sidewalk. I'm like, fuck this shit. I was like, I'm riding off into the sunset, and nobody's taking my trike. I don't give a damn. And of course, I got yanked back up and brought back, and tricycle got sold. And
I can see that IM speed snagged you up.
But yeah, well, moved back to West Virginia. We lived in a little town. So there's Parkersburg, West Virginia. So there's the Mid Ohio Valley. So I'm going to show people right now. So I'm not flipping you off, audience at home or wherever you are. But basically, West Virginia looks like this, right?
The founding
kind of looks like that as a state, right? And I lived right about here along what they call the Mid Ohio Valley. So basically, the Ohio River separates West Virginia over here somewhat on the top or whatever.
I'm partially familiar with the area because we talked, like one of my best friends ever lives in Wheeling, West Virginia. I think he says like 30 minutes away from you.
Fuck, it's dead. Fuck. Damn it.
Throw it to Cooter. He'll charge it.
Cooter.
Hell yeah.
That's the fucking man right there.
Cooter's the best, dude. I don't know what we do.
I think there's some USB-Cs in that little plastic packet down there. Yeah.
So you're living in West Virginia. You moved there when you're around 3, just to recap, right?
Around 3 or 4, yeah, as to the best of my knowledge.
So what was Little Holden doing in West Virginia?
Oh, man.
Besides kissing his cousins.
So we lived in Vienna. We lived in a little...
Vienna,
West Virginia.
Vienna. Like the sausages?
Yes.
Is that where they come from?
No.
Oh, okay.
I thought so growing up.
That's kind of sick.
I wasn't sheltered, but like in my little circle of a world, I was living in Vienna, and like we saw the little Vienna sausage. We were poor as fuck growing up. So
I loved Vienna sausages growing up.
Dude, I loved them so much. You know what I do? I get the can of Vienna sausages, I crack them open, and I would get the garlic salt and like sprinkle a little bit of garlic salt on top and just fucking pop one out.
Getting gourmet with those little weenies.
Super good. They're so good.
So taking little weenies, right?
Yeah.
What else were you doing?
Went to school. I remember I went to kindergarten through 2nd grade before we moved, which that was all right. And then where did we move after that one? I want to say we moved over to the different side of town, and I went to a different school, so I moved around 3rd grade.
Okay. Were you able to see your dad a lot at this time, or is he just off doing military stuff?
He was off doing military stuff, and I forget what year he got out. He ended up going and getting a job at the post office.
Oh, nice.
And
that's a typical military track too, by the way. Like so many guys I know will go be postal workers.
Yeah.
Buy back your time. It's a great gig.
Yeah.
Sick calves.
Yeah. He walks like 30 miles a day. His calves are huge. He runs marathons for fun. Like, he's insane. But
so you moved around 3rd grade.
Yeah, moved around 3rd grade, went to a different house over near Parkersburg Catholic High School. Went over there for 3rd grade, broke my arm over there.
Doing?
So there's the story I've told everybody growing up, and then there's the real story.
Okay. Let's hear the story you told growing up, and then I want to hear the real story.
So the story I told everybody growing up.
I fought a bobcat.
No, it was I was riding my my BMX bike down a grassy hill in an alleyway, which technically the grassy hill part would have been somebody's backyard, just unfenced. And I told people, I was like, well, I was riding down this grassy hill, and I hit a ghost hole in the ground and flew over the handlebars and just fucking broke my arm. Well, what had actually happened is I went behind this house, and this house actually used to be my old babysitter's house. And they had moved, and they left all kinds of shit, like just like white trash shit, like inflatable pools, like
washing machine,
degraded, broken swing set, like all this shit.
You're describing my backyard right now.
Yeah. And I saw the halfway inflated pool braced up against like the cinder block basement foundation or whatever to the house. And I saw that it was kind of inflated. I'm like, well, I'm going to go stomp on that motherfucker and pop it.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, it's going to be loud. It's going to be great. Just typical fun boy shit.
Yeah.
And I went and jumped on the motherfucker. And it sent me flying and twisting some kind of weird direction.
Oh, Jesus.
And I fucking fell. And when I landed on my arm just snapped up and went into an L.
And you were by yourself?
I was by myself.
Did you just like walk back home?
So yeah, I got up.
That's
I looked
a
at
man right there.
I got up and I looked at my arm and I was fucking screaming. I was in like third grade at this point.
As a grown man, I would be screaming as well. Profanities, I'd be screaming profanities.
I was screaming some F-bombs at the top of my lungs.
Every word you've learned so far, just yell at them.
Oh, yeah. And I go walking back up the hill. It was probably about a quarter mile, maybe half mile to get back to the house. Mm-hmm. And I get back to the house. My mom's out front mowing the yard. And
your poor mother, dude. That's got to be a horrific sight.
She can't hear me. So I'm screaming mom at the top of my lungs. And then I just went to go screaming her first name. And she immediately stopped the mower, looked over, came running over to me as soon as she saw my arm. She just started gagging. It was like, ugh.
Was the bone sticking out?
No,
okay, it was
damn near close to like a compound fracture, but no, it was pretty grody though. And then I got in the house, and she put my arm on the armrest of the chair of the couch, and basically just put an ice pack on it where it was broken in half.
That's what they teach you.
She fucking slapped this shit down, and she's like running all over the house, fucking panicking and like all this other shit. And call the ambulance. Ambulance gets to the house, and they're like, "Yeah, we can't. There's nothing we can do here, because, but he's got to go to the hospital, obviously."
The ice pack's not doing it? Are you sure?
Yeah, ice pack and ibuprofen.
It's on ice.
I can't give him Tylenol.
I changed his socks.
Yeah. What do you mean? I can't just give him a glass of ice water and call it a day. But
I kissed it better.
But no, she was like, okay, and but we didn't have any money or hardly really. I think it was on my dad's health insurance.
You said you'd definitely still be on TRICARE.
So basically, no. I think I had.
Oh, was he out at the time?
I think so, maybe.
Oh.
This would have been like 2003, 2004.
Oh, that makes sense.
And so basically, we followed the ambulance to the hospital because we couldn't afford the
ambulance, right? So
basically, he got in front of us, put the red and whites on. We just got behind him and basically followed him the whole way to the hospital.
That's a sick dude right there. That's
cool.
Pretty legit.
That's a pretty legit guy. He's like, hey, kid's got his fucking arm snapped in half. He's got to get to the hospital, but I get that he can't afford the
$30,000,
the $1,200 or whatever it was at the time. Now ambulance ride,
$30,000.
It's fucking ridiculous. Damn. But did that. Was in the casket case, so there was that.
So obviously you were into like BMXing, right? Because you had a BMX bike.
Yeah, at that time I was more so into BMXing at the time.
So there's other things too. You little skater boy.
Yeah, I was into skateboarding too. I wasn't any good at it. Not so much. I got more into skateboarding as I got older. Mm-hmm. But at the beginning, it was always just like riding bikes in the dirt and the woods and making dirt jumps and shit like that. So
that's one thing I wish I had in my childhood was just like woods around to go explore.
Oh, dude, it was the best.
I'd just have to wander the desert.
Some people are afraid of the woods. I love the woods.
Dude, my wife is terrified of the woods at night, which I get it.
Like, no, I get that. Like, I get where people are scared, but like me, I love it.
I love the woods.
Like,
I long for the trees.
Like, I'll just go sit. Like, this sounds like, but I love the woods so much. Like, I could go sit in the woods in the pitch black and be totally fine. Like, love it. Love it. Love the silence. Love the noises. The little twigs snapping and all that shit that freaks people out. Love it. Love it.
The screaming of the Wendigo.
Love it. Yeah. Come after me.
Come after me. I mean, you're in West Virginia. I mean, fucking Mothman's around, dude.
Mothman, dude.
So the first time I ever heard about Mothman, we're gonna go on a vandal tangent right now.
Tangent.
First time I learned about Mothman, I'm driving to South Dakota after getting married, right? And so this is before like Spotify Premium and shit like that, right? So I'm driving. I don't have fucking service to like listen to anything on the phone or anything like that, and so it's just radio. And dude, I just switched it to AM radio, and it's just two dudes. I got it at the beginning of the episode. It's like two dudes basically doing a podcast about AM radio, right? Mm-hmm. Basically what it was back in the day. Just two dudes talking like 2 hours about Mothman.
Yeah.
And I was in love. It was the first I've ever been exposed to it, and I was like, that's so fucking sick. Mm-hmm. I immediately, when I got to my base, my buddy that lives in Wheeling, West Virginia, I walked up to him like, Mothman. He's like, yo, you fucking know Mothman?
Yep.
And we bonded over that instantly.
Keep riffing for a second. I'm going to pull something out of a box in here, and I'm going to show you something cool. Just keep riffing.
Now you put the pressure on me.
Yeah, keep talking.
People who don't know, Mothman is a cryptid. He's a moth and a man, right? Often depicted in like it's weird because like some accounts depict him in like a brown like suit, right? But he appears before disasters happen. Like he appeared one time, and I don't know what bridge it was. Holden will probably know, but like a bridge collapsed like 2 days later. He's appeared on the side of the road to like a man and woman driving in a car. I love Mothman. Is it Point Pleasant? Am I getting the name wrong, or is it? It is Point Pleasant. Good old Point Pleasant, West Virginia. I want to go there so bad. They have a giant Mothman statue and museum, and I just love everything about it. I recently did a design that was Moth Ma'am or Moth Mommy, which is a pinup Mothman, and I love everything about it. He's still digging through that box. Is it over there? He had an old letter from Mothman? No. Oh, shit. In West Virginia, they write letters to Mothman, not Santa. Confirmed. There you go, yep.
Okay, we're back. No, so basically, I've got it somewhere. But it's an old letter that my great-grandpa wrote.
Okay.
And on the stamp on the top of the outside of the envelope has a memorial stamp for the Point Pleasant Bridge collapse.
Oh, shit.
That is apparently associated with Mothman.
Yeah, it is,
flying by and everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it had Mothman on it, that'd be so sick.
And it was dated and everything, too. That old piece of paper that's kind of hanging out of the box over there, it's an old fishing map.
Oh, really?
So on it, he's got it stamped out, all the little different electrician sites and stuff that they would stay at when they were doing all the original like electrical running. Sorry. Accidentally hit the microphone. Running through all the valleys and stuff through West Virginia and stuff. So he was an electrician.
But yeah, sorry, that's my Mothman tangent. I love everything Mothman. I'm glad that he's so mainstream now that people know about him because he deserves to be known about.
Mothman's pretty legit.
I think he's a good guy. Yep. People say he's a bad guy. I don't agree with that. He's the best guy.
I mean, he killed a lot of people allegedly.
No, he's a warning. He was warning them that disaster was going to happen. Don't say that about him.
Well, didn't he like fly by, and then it collapsed like immediately after he flew?
No. So the first sighting of Mothman, I could be wrong. I could just be making shit up. It was like 2 or 3 days before the bridge collapse. He appeared on like the side of the road to like a man and woman driving in a car, and like the depiction of Mothman, I like the pictures. They say it was like a moth's head with like a man's body, and he was wearing a brown suit. That's my Mothman, not the giant ripped up muscle like bodybuilder Mothman. Yeah. No, I like brown suit formal Mothman.
Yeah.
And a lot of people regarded him like, okay, whenever a disaster is about to strike, you see Mothman like a day or two before. So a lot of people like to blame Mothman. Okay.
Mm-hmm. We don't bad rap.
We don't subscribe to that here. We love Mothman.
Yeah.
He's a hero.
I like Mothman.
He's great.
My grandparents used to tell me spooky stories about Mothman when we go camping and stuff.
Hell yeah.
It's pretty cool growing up.
Mine were like, you're going to go get mauled by coyotes. That's what I got. The chupacabra.
My grandma used to tell me stories about, she's like, can't remember them all to the full, but it's like you would see like red eyes up in the trees and stuff, and it'd be like black. It'd be like total darkness outside, like just middle of the night. Campfire's the only light on it. And it's just like talking about red eyes up in the trees, and then you just see the light from the campfire hitting all the trees.
Oh shit!
And it's just like, oh shit, is there something out there? And you start freaking the fuck out. And you're like, what the fuck?
That's just good parenting.
Yeah, this is a good time.
All right, so love the woods, riding BMX.
Yep.
Tell me more.
Grade, fourth grade, moved out to Mineral Wells, rode.
So you're moving a lot.
Moving a lot.
Okay.
As a kid.
Was this like just? You might not know because I mean you were a kid, but it was like financial stuff. Was it just like
it was
job stuff?
It was job stuff.
Okay.
It was financial stuff.
Just everything.
My mom always had a hard time holding a job.
Yeah.
And so we moved around a lot because of that. Just finding cheaper places to live, things of that nature. So
how was that for you as a kid? Like just constantly changing schools? Because I'm assuming when you move, you're not like your mom's not making the trek to take you to the previous school, right? You already said you changed schools once.
Yeah, we're changing schools every time we move.
Okay.
So
how was that on you?
At this point, so I went to that school.
Because at least like three schools in, right?
I'm at my third school
okay.
now. So yeah, by that point, this would have been around like 2004. So I would have been going into like fourth grade. But then my grandmother got cancer. And I can't remember if she'd already had it a year or two prior, or if she'd just gotten it. It was a long time ago. It was like 20 years ago.
Okay.
But she, I think she had mesothelioma. She loved to smoke. Mm-hmm. Loved the Marlboro Lights.
I mean,
her brand. I remember that.
Mesothelioma got to be that asbestos too, fucking everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere. So yeah, she was getting cancer, so we moved again when I was in fourth grade. So we moved twice. And then we moved back to Vienna so that way we could be closer to my grandma's house while she was going through treatment and stuff. And then that's when all the not so fun stuff happened that we'll dive into at a later date. Mm-hmm. But that's right around the time I got into like skateboarding and stuff. And then
so like you're changing schools a lot, right? Like socially, how was that for you? Was it like were you just like kind of go with the flow? Was it like hard trends? Because I've changed schools, you know, as a young kid. I will say
so. The first school that I went to when we moved here or moved to West Virginia, I ended up going back to that school.
Okay.
Around fourth, fifth grade. I think around fourth grade, middle of fourth, maybe end of fourth grade, going into fifth grade. So I'd already known a couple of the kids, just from like kindergarten and first grade and second grade. And then I was gone for third grade and then basically came back at the end of fourth grade. Okay. So, but by that time we'd already moved like 4 times.
Damn.
So
it's a short period of time to like move 4 times.
Yeah. So, that was, went back to school. It was hard. Yeah, because I would make friends, like, say, out in, like, a completely different side of town or a completely different town, and then I would move and then make more friends on a different side of town and then move and then make more friends. So I ended up knowing a lot of people from, like, a lot of different places. I kind of kept touch with some people over the years.
Yeah.
Not so much really anymore. There's probably only, like, 3 people from back in West Virginia that I really talked to.
Did you find it hard, like, just as a kid? Because I'm relating hard to all of this right now, right? But, like, as a kid, did you find it hard to, like, want to make connections? Because you're like, I don't know how long this is going to last. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I always felt the need to want to fit in.
Okay.
Or because, like, I was constantly moving around. So even then, like, even at that young of an age or in those younger grades, like, there were still kind of like cliques.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Kids are the worst.
Yeah, and especially at that age, like they'll say the most hateful shit to your face. They'll be like, my dad's better than yours. Your dad sucks.
Yeah.
Like, be like, wow, that's so fucking rude. It's like, this is like the rudest shit ever. But
Hey, my dad could beat up your dad. No, my dad's a Marine.
Yeah. But no, it was hard, dude. I always felt like the need to like want to fit in or, try to get people to like
Just
me.
some kind of connection.
Yeah. Or like I got good at like trying to constantly make friends from constantly moving around.
I gotcha.
So I kind of got good at like making friends that way.
Okay. So were you at this school for a while then? I know you had some stuff going on with your grandma.
Yeah.
Which you hate to hear. I'm sorry about that.
It was around, she died in 2005. So I was in 5th grade. I was still going to the original school. Okay. Still going to the same school. I was actually at her house the night she died. Ooh. That kind of sucked.
Yeah, I was. I went and saw my grandfather as he was passing, which was, I'll get into this with mine, but a couple of years ago. But like that's a different feeling for sure. Yeah. Like being there.
Yeah, and like
especially so young.
Yeah, and at the time, like I want to say my cousin, my aunt's daughter. I want to say her oldest may have been born at the time, but she was still maybe just like a fresh baby, or maybe she was born maybe right after. I can't remember. Timelines are always fuzzy in my head.
It's all good.
Yeah, no, I was over at her house. But like I basically was like the only grandchild for a long time.
Gotcha. It's such an age gap that you're the only one that really understands what's going on.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I was like probably 10, 11 at this time. And I was just staying the night over at my grandparents' house like I would. And
was your grandpa still alive at the time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so at least there was
he was there and he was helping take care of her and stuff. And she was on like a breathing machine and stuff at night. And then it was just the night that I was staying there, I was staying, so it was like there's their room, there's the hallway, and then there's their room, and then there's the room that I was staying in right next to their room at the end of the hallway. And I get like woken up in the middle of the night by my grandpa like yelling and screaming my grandma's name to like wake up. Yeah. And that was pretty hard to hear, so I started freaking out a little bit.
That's heavy.
The door's closed.
Anybody to deal with.
I'm like, dude, I don't even want to open the door and go outside and see what the fuck's going on right now.
Yeah.
And I stayed in the room, and then all of a sudden I see and it's just him crying her name and trying to get her to wake up for a long time. And then you see the ambulances roll up, and I remember it was like snowing too, and it was early in the morning because I remember the hill leading up to their house was so icy. My mom had to park at the bottom of the hill and was like sprinting up the hill, slipping in the ice and shit. And, yeah, and then my mom got there and I hear her freaking out this whole time. I was probably in the bedroom by myself for probably 4 hours.
Damn.
Just hearing all this go on out in the hallway and in the bedroom next to me and stuff. And then, hear my mom get in there, and then she starts freaking out, hearing her reaction, and then she goes in there to be with her, and then my grandpa comes in and closes the door behind him, and I see all the paramedics and stuff out in the hallway and stuff, and then he comes in, and he's like, yeah, well, and I mean, there's not really beating around the bush with that. It's just like, it's like, she's gone, dude. Like, she's gone, buddy. And I was like, yeah, well, I mean, I didn't say that at the time. Like, I started bawling, like, yeah, I was lost my mind.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I bawled when my grandparents passed, and I was like in my 20s. You know, dude, what I mean?
She was the fucking coolest. Like, I remember
grandmas are always the best.
We were having some kind of get together at the house or something, and I was swinging on this swing on a big oak tree out front of their house. And because the way their house was set up, it wasn't set up in like a neighborhood. It was like set up on like its own little piece of property off of a main road.
Okay.
But it was completely surrounded by woods, so you couldn't see the actual house.
Oh, nice.
And it was like super secluded and private. It was super nice. And I was swinging on the swing one day, and like I fell off, and I look down on the ground. I see this giant ass fucking snake. I think it was like a bull snake or something like that. It wasn't poisonous or anything, but I freaked the fuck out, dude. I just see this big ass black snakes like 2-3 feet away from my face or something. And I freak out and I jump back, and my grandma comes running out of the house. Dude, she grabs this fucking snake by the tail. Sorry, PETA. Grabs the snake by the tail and just starts like Hulk smashing this thing back and forth on the fucking ground.
Hell yeah.
And then smacks it up against a tree, like whipping this thing around, dude, like it's a rope. Whips it into the fucking tree, and then sees that it's limp and completely dead, and just flings that thing off into the fucking
Hell
woods.
Yeah, dude.
It's fucking sick, dude.
God damn.
She would do shit all like that all the time. She'd come out and get like she loved gardening, and she loved flowers and stuff like that. And she would come out with like a garden hoe, and just like anytime she would see a snake, just fucking
Just decapitate it.
off with its head, dude. Throw the body into the woods.
So,
Done.
sadly,
But,
grandma passed, right?
Grandma passed.
And so you're around 10 years old.
Yeah.
What's going on in little Holden's life now? Because obviously, I mean, you've been going through it so far. Let's be honest. Like just from an outside perspective, all the moves, the divorce, grandma passing.
I did have a good, consistent friend with me throughout this point.
Oh, that's awesome.
His name was Isaac. So Isaac, if you're listening, he knows everything about. He knows as much as you know.
Okay.
I have known that dude since we first moved to West Virginia.
Oh wow.
So since I was like 4, I've known that guy, and he still lives there.
Did you tell him the original story of how you broke your arm, like the actual story?
I don't think so.
Oh damn.
But he knows so that house that I lived at when I did that, he came over there for a birthday party. I had that one year.
Oh nice.
Dude, we watched it was fucking sick. Like, dude, I don't hear kids doing this shit anymore. You know what we did for so I think my mom got like an ice cream Dairy Queen cake.
The best.
And I got E.T. on VHS.
Hell yeah.
It was like 2003. I think DVDs were like pretty pretty popular.
Were they?
I want to say
I still had a bunch of VHS tapes.
Yeah, but I got an ET VHS.
Did you go to Blockbuster to get it?
No, I got it bought for me for my birthday.
Damn, you've always been a big Alien guy, huh?
I love aliens, dude. No, so I got that for my birthday. We all just gathered around, like watched it, ate fucking ice cream cake. And like I gotten something from my grandpa. My grandpa usually tried to spoil me with gifts and stuff.
As they do.
He was a hardworking man, and he loved to spoil the grandkids. But I think he had gotten me some kind of like computer kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I tore that fucking thing apart.
Instantly?
Like I had this incessant need as a kid to just take things apart and see how they work. And then see if I could put it back together again and it would work.
Knowing what I know about you, that makes so much sense. like that flavor of autism fits you perfect. Like I get it.
I would take apart everything I could get my hands on.
Why the fuck is the VHS player taking it apart?
Somebody somewhere along
Could you put it back together though?
Sometimes.
Sometimes
I just have toys that were like torn apart. Like, because somewhere
it's a 50-50. We're gambling here.
Somebody somewhere along the line fucked up and got your boy a set of tools for his birthday at a young age.
Yeah, I'm going to use these.
Tearing shit apart. Don't ever get young kids tools like screwdrivers and wrenches and shit like that, because if they're anything like me, they will tear that shit apart.
It's a nice PS5 you got. Oh, yeah. Be a real shame.
Be a real shame if the joysticks got off of this controller somehow, and I don't know how to put it back. But
so we finally figured out your flavor of autism. Nice.
Yes. So yeah, grandma passed. So after that, I mean, there's a whole bunch of life shit that went on, but yeah, I got really into skateboarding after my grandma died.
Can you kickflip?
I could.
Nice.
That's
all that matters.
Not at the beginning. Fuck no. Probably not even for the first couple of years.
I could never kickflip, dude. I was more of a longboarding kid.
Dude, I was the kid that was like we were broke growing up. Like my mom, yeah, she'd get child support from my dad and stuff, but that shit would go like right towards like trying to keep lights and shit on. And like sometimes like I don't ever remember the electricity being off, but I remember like gas being off and shit like that. So like the hot water heater wouldn't be on, or the stove wouldn't be on. So what we would do is we'd fucking fill up bowls of water and put them in the microwave. Microwave a bowl of hot ass water, take it with you into the bathroom.
That's some West Virginia shit for sure.
Get a little plastic cup from like a Hardee's or something like that, or Carl's Jr. as everybody else calls it, and then just fucking pour it over you.
It just depends what side of the country you're on, dude.
Eating or fucking powdered milk with cereal and government cheese. Going to food drives and churches and stuff of that nature. Yeah. We were struggling a little bit growing up.
Yeah. So let's go into like more teenage years, because I picture you being really rebellious.
I was.
Okay. I mean, skater.
I was trying to always
moving around a lot.
I was trying to be secretive and rebellious. So pretty much after my grandma died, and we had moved back to Vienna, we had made our final move at the time back to Parkersburg, and that's where we would stay up until I went to high school. Okay. So from 6th grade up until 10th grade that's where I would stay. And at that time I started getting like super into skateboarding, super into hardcore rap and punk, and like I was listening to the Ramones and Misfits, and I was listening to D12. Do you know who D12 is?
No.
Oh my God. The OGs out there know who D12 is.
You know what fueled my rebellion stage?
What?
The first CD I ever bought with my own money was Rage Against the Machine.
Nice.
I still own it, dude. I love it.
The first D12, first hardcore rap album I ever got. I forget what the name of the album was. But so D12 was a group, and I hope I get this right. D12 was a group that had Eminem and I think some guys from G Unit in it.
Okay.
And they named the group D12.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
The cover of the album just looks like a hand holding a globe like this.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's some bangers on that.
What's that one? Shaking that ass on the floor, bumping it. I'm pretty sure that was D12.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure too.
So, but I got that, right?
I think my dad owned that album. That's why I know it.
It's all coming back to me now. So that album, that D12 album, I had gotten that album before my grandmother died. And the only reason I remember that is because I had it in my CD player that I would
the Walkman.
The little CD player that I would wear to school. I'd either put it in my backpack, and at the time they had the little headphone like port that you could feed
through it.
Yeah, whatever. But I had that. And every time, if you took too hard of a step, it would skip.
You could like hit it to like be your own DJ, making it scratch.
But I had it out on the kitchen table over at their house, and I went to go to the bathroom to like take a shower or bath or something like that. And I come back out, and she had listened to it.
Dude, just having a heart attack.
The lyrics on the songs on this album, I can only imagine what song she heard. She's old fashioned, so she like old fashioned as in like if it was dinner time, I was helping snap green beans.
Like it wasn't
helping set.
It wasn't dinner. It was supper.
Yeah, it was supper.
Yep.
And I was helping set the table, and I was helping snap green beans and all this other stuff. And So, but as soon as she had heard that, she was like, "Oh no!" Like, I think I got my ass beat left.
Go get a switch.
Yeah, go get the belt. Go get that belt.
Damn.
Tan your hide. Damn. I will paint your back porch red.
Not sitting right for a couple days.
No.
Based how she was whipping that snake around, she probably knew her way around that belt.
Yeah. So after that, got really into, we're talking about 2006, going into like 6th, 7th grade. I was getting really big into skateboarding. Started off on the old, so they don't make them like this anymore. Okay. I think they make some pretty decent skateboard decks at Walmart nowadays. But back in my day, they used to make shitty knockoff skateboards at Walmart. Like the trucks were like plastic, or they were like some shitty kind of metal.
Yeah.
Bearings on the wheels. You couldn't even spin the fucking things. Like, they were so garbage. And the deck of the actual skateboard, like right where it has that little curvature that dips down right where the trucks typically bolt up on the deck, it didn't have that. It was just a straight plank
line.
of wood with the ends curled up.
It's like it's like quarter-inch fucking plywood.
It had no curvature, no spice to it at all. And I practiced on that for like a year or two in my driveway. And I was just like trying to practice doing kick flips, ollies. I'm like watching videos of like Tony Hawk in the skate shop and like Bam Margera and Bucky Lassick and all these other guys do cool tricks and shit. I'm like, dude, I want to do that. I want to do cool tricks and shit. And then I think I was just like doing tricks on my driveway one day, and then I met some other kids, and plus my buddy Isaac, he skateboarded and stuff too, but he was more into BMX. And yeah, so did that. Skateboarded for a little while. Yeah, I just got into all kinds of trouble. We were doing all kinds of shit. So there's an era like where all the kids were like super into Jackass and stuff, right?
Oh, dude, doing all the dumb shit.
Mm-hmm. Hi, my name's Trey, and welcome to Jackass. Yeah.
Watch me jump out this window.
Yeah, watch me slap this fat guy and run away. Like some crazy shit.
I would never smack you.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Hey, I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors that don't exist.
Okay.
I just got to take a piss.
Okay.
All right. So.
And we're back. Okay.
Thanks for the words from our sponsors that don't exist. So if you want that to be you,
just a little pee break.
Let us know.
Just a little pee break.
Yeah. Eventually it'll be sponsors.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Eventually. Maybe. We're going to set, did we set up a Patreon yet?
I have not done that yet.
Okay, but you got an email set up and everything, right? So, yeah, we're going to, just so you guys are aware, we're going to try and set up a Patreon, you know, because unfortunately, doing all this stuff isn't free.
We're in the hole.
Help. No, we're not.
For just 50 cents a day, you could support two middle-aged men who dream to have a podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. No, we're gonna set up
an angel.
We're gonna set up a Patreon. On there, we'll try to do some fun stuff. Like we'll do like maybe ask us a question or.
I did some like asking guest questions, asking us questions. We'll put some bloopers, and then we got a bunch of we riffed for like 15, 20 minutes before we even started recording just to get the jitters out, and we'll throw that stuff on there. Do some behind the scenes footage, like I don't know, maybe we'll go do a range day or something like that. Yeah, we can always do like episodes early. Yeah, bonus episodes. Give you guys some value. All the value. But yeah, we'll try to get that set up so it'll help us out a little bit. Keep the lights on. Like that. I mean, even just watching and sharing it. Yeah, appreciate that too. Share it. That's great too. I love that. Back on track. Yes, sir. Yes, you're a skater boy. Skater boy. He said, see you later, boy. Yeah. Great song. Great song. So you're skating. I know we're in like 5th grade to 10th grade year. Yep. Right? Yep. Whole time. It's just skating, being a D-gen, getting in trouble, smoking a lot of pot. When was this rugby league? This time was this later? This would have been later. This would have been when I moved to Wisconsin. Okay. So I want to fast forward just a little bit, not to cut off your interview, but I want to talk about something I learned about right before the podcast. Sure. And that's the military academy you went to, which I didn't, like you hear about it in movies and stuff like that all of the time, but you don't actually think it's a real thing. Yep. And you went to one. I did. I went to a military boarding school for troubled youth. Okay. So what event, what was the catalyst for you going to a military academy for troubled youth besides skating? Well, brother. Oh shit! What are we getting out? Put some pouches in. So, I thought that was gonna be the reason why you're like the cataclysmic event that led to me going to military boarding school was pot. Okay. Was pot. We referred to that a little bit on the first podcast that you're smoking the devil's lettuce. I was smoking the devil's lettuce. So, straight to hell. I had really bad ADHD as a kid. You have bad now. I have it bad now.
badder than sin. I got that stuff. What are we talking about? I'm just
exactly.
There it is. Yeah. No, seriously, what were we talking about?
Weed.
Yeah,
You smoking weed?
Yeah, what got
Damn,
me into,
I thought it was a joke. It's not a bit, people.
No, that wasn't a bit. That was actually true. That was real. That happened in real time when I was just trying to joke around. Anywho, so what had happened was, it's in 10th grade.
Okay.
Going to high school.
Yeah.
Being a D-Gen, grades were mid. Not great, not failing, mid.
C's.
Was prescribed Adderall at a very young age.
Shit, like the heavy duty stuff, like back in the day.
Like I was on Adderall starting from the age, whatever, second grade.
And this is probably back when they did like fucking 5 times the dosage that they do now.
I was doing,
You're doing speed.
Pharmaceutical methamphetamine, essentially. No, I was doing, they looked like the little blue pill Adderalls at the time. And then I graduated eventually up to the Adderall extended releases, which were the capsules that would last a long time. Fun little fact. My doctor was out of town for something for a long period of time, and I got a substitute doctor pretty much.
A drug dealer.
At the clinic that I was getting prescribed my Adderall from, whatever, behavioral health. And he got in trouble and sent to prison because he was going off the handle and prescribing people just the craziest prescriptions.
Yeah, he's probably getting kickback.
Yeah, and one of them was prescribing me a tremendous dose of Adderall. Damn. Like, I'm talking, I was probably small. I was probably in 3rd, 4th grade, and I got prescribed, I can't even remember, maybe like 120 milligrams or something in the high 80s or 90s or something. I had a full-blown episode.
Dude, that's enough to give a horse a heart attack.
Yeah, but
okay, so you got ADHD.
Yeah, I got ADHD.
Taking Adderall.
I would sell my Adderall for weed money.
Young entrepreneur, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I was a little bit of a drug slanger back in the day.
So you got caught smoking weed at school or at home?
At school.
In the boys' bathroom?
It was the day before Christmas break.
Oh, fucking Merry Christmas.
And we were about to go see the Christmas play. And I was like, well, I don't want to go see this shit sober. No way. So me and a couple of stoner buddies went out to the football fields. And we had a pretty decent football stadium at the time because football and wrestling was the talk of the town in West Virginia.
You guys don't get any, like...
Yeah, they ain't
college sports,
soccer,
you got high school.
Baseball, nothing like that. Nick Swisher came from our high school, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for the Yankees. I don't know what the fuck he does. I'm not good with sports or anything.
Weed.
Nowadays.
He does weed now, probably.
He does weed. But we went out to the football stadium or field or whatever to go smoke weed under the bleachers. And we come back out high as fuck, higher than a kite. And the janitor's walking up to the fence. I'm already beelining it across the football field.
By the janitor?
Yeah.
Dude, janitor, if you're a janitor, be chill.
Yeah, man. Chill out.
A janitor taught me how to do the worm when I was in like 4th grade.
Oh my God.
My janitor.
That's a little sus.
No, he was cool. Dude, yeah. Me and some buddies, I don't know. We probably should have been on Adderall. We were doing some dance moves outside and he just braked out the worm. Y'all
heard it here first, folks. Trey was cool with the janitor.
We were chill. Dude, so most of my life I hung out with all the burnouts, so I never smoked the devil's lettuce because I'm not a sinner.
Yeah.
But the janitors were super chill, like the facility managers and stuff. Like they would get all of these like frisbees and fucking like toys and stuff. And like we used to like the corner of the playground was like right next to like where they were like their like bay door was for like their office area.
Yeah.
So they just come out like, hey, you guys want these frisbees and shit? Like we don't want them. Like, absolutely. We're just going to throw them back on top of this building.
Very nice. So, yeah.
You got caught by the janitor.
Got caught by the janitor. I booked it across the football field, hopped the fence, went into the parking lot, took my shirt off. I was wearing a flannel at the time.
Why'd you take your shirt off?
Because I was like, well, he saw what I was wearing. So
might as well be shirtless.
I'll take the top layer off, change my appearance just ever so slightly.
Oh, okay. So you had a shirt on underneath.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought, okay.
Yeah. And then as soon as I got to the end of the parking lot, the dean or principal comes walking up behind a car, grabs me by the back of my neck, and he says, where are you going?
Do you guys have a resource officer?
A resource officer?
You have like a cop on campus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we did. He was super chill. He was super cool.
You usually are. Chiller than the janitors at your school, apparently.
Oh, yeah. He was just a dick.
Actually, I never saw a janitor at my high school. I was just like,
Oh, we had like groundskeepers and shit. Our high school was so big. PHS, Parkersburg High School, pretty big high school. For all the bubbas that are going to listen to this and do their own OSINT and look into my whole background of my life, you'll see a picture of it.
You think people actually do that?
I think so.
Damn. So,
but yeah, got caught smoking weed. We all got brought in. The dean, he brings us all in. There's probably like 5 or 6 of us, if I remember correctly.
Okay. And you snitched immediately.
No, I didn't say shit, dude. I mean, there wasn't shit to say. We'd all gotten caught red-handed. And he brings us all in, and he brings in a bag of weed, and he brings in a bowl and a razor blade.
What?
And he pulls
a razor blade
to cut the weed up, apparently. None of this shit was mine. I was just there. I threw money in to fucking smoke, and that was it.
I didn't know you cut weed up like that.
The pipe wasn't mine. The razor blade wasn't mine. None of it was mine. I was just an innocent bystander just trying to...
He did not smoke that weed.
Just trying to get the giggles before a Christmas play.
That is fair.
But, yeah.
So you get sent to this military academy.
Yeah, so...
It's a boarding school, so you live there.
Yeah, my mom was fucking pissed about the weed shit. But yeah, got pulled out of that.
That had to be expensive, though.
No, the state paid for it.
Damn.
Yeah, so my mom flipped the lid, had me call, once she found out I got caught smoking weed, flipped out, had me call everybody in my family, tell them I was a big old pothead.
Did you call your dad?
I called my dad.
Was he like, what strand is it?
He was fucking dying laughing.
I'm sure. Yeah, he's a Marine. He definitely.
He was a pothead too.
Yeah.
He thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I called him and I was crying. He was like, what's the matter? And I was like, I got caught smoking weed and I got told to call you. And I was crying the whole time, and he just starts dying laughing on the phone. It's hilarious.
I'm smoking right now.
And I'm like, why are you laughing? And he's still laughing. And my mom gets pissed. She's like, hand me the goddamn phone. She starts yelling at him on the fucking phone. And he's like, all right, well, sounds like you're in for a rough road ahead, buddy. Good luck.
Damn. So, how long were you at this boarding school for?
9 months.
9 months. And you like got a certificate or something? Or like, why'd you get pulled out?
Pulled out of what? Like
the military school. Did you like graduate?
Oh, graduated, yeah.
Oh, was this like junior to senior year?
Yeah. So basically the way that it works is it's a military boarding school for troubled youth within West Virginia. It's called the Mountaineer Challenge Academy, MCA. And it's held at least last I checked, Kingswood, West Virginia at the National Guard Air Base. That's out there.
So you stay in barracks and shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, stayed in barracks.
What's the curriculum like? Is it like in regular school?
No.
Okay.
It's like boot camp for 9 months.
Do you still have like classes? Like
yes.
They're teaching you like geometry and shit?
Yes, you do. So basically it was a educational program to help troubled youth, but also get their GED. So basically at this point I had abandoned all hope at getting a high school diploma.
Really?
Yep.
Because it's getting caught smoking pot once?
It was the path that I was on. I was still
you just spiraled from there.
I was like, I wasn't even an adult yet, so I couldn't even make my own choices or anything.
That's
fair. My mom just wanted me to go to this military boarding school and shape my shit up.
Did this make you want to join the military more or less?
This made me not want to join the military at all.
So we're gonna skip forward a little bit and we'll come back. Did it make basic training easier? Because you're like, I already fucking lived through this shit.
Kinda. Marine Corps basic training was, I had a expectation in my mind of what I thought it was going to be, and it wasn't anything like that.
Better or worse?
It was
just different.
Just different. I mean, it was still hard in its own ways for sure, but like
not the ways you expected.
I mean, I grew up watching like, what is it, Full Metal Jacket and all the Marine Corps movies. And
Dustin dude's gonna off himself in the bathroom.
I'm gonna go, get fucking slapped and shit kicked out of me.
Not when we joined.
All kinds of other shit, and I was like, no, none of that.
All right, so you at this boarding school for 9 months, get your GED.
Yeah, so I got my GED. It was legit, dude. Like we were waking up before this. We were waking up probably like 4 o'clock in the morning, going and PTing, coming back.
How many kids were here?
Within our class, maybe 100.
Damn.
Yeah.
You broke it into like
so there were two
platoons.
Two tacks. So there was one tack, and then two tack, and they're split off. It might have been 6 months because there's 2 tacks every year, but within each tack there's like 5 platoons.
Damn.
In each platoon there was like 20 people.
West Virginia, what are you guys doing? That's a lot of troubled youth.
A lot of drugs and stuff going through West Virginia.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of drugs.
Not much else to do, I guess.
A lot of
sometimes.
meth, a lot of heroin, a lot of pills. Yeah. So mine, I was the hippie kid. I was like, "What are you in for?" Weed. And they're like, "Oh, I'm here because I beat the shit out of 20 kids at my high school." I'm like, "Cool." Like, and then that was it. But
did you make a lot of friends there? Was it like
I did?
Yeah,
I made quite a few friends there.
I figure it's like a lot like military boot camp, right? It's like the instructor, right? The drill instructor, whatever your branch calls them, like their main goal is for you to hate them. So you guys all come together.
Exactly.
To get to common
and they
enemy.
were all hard asses, and they all came from different branches. We had some that were from the Navy, from the Army, from the Marine Corps, from the National Guard, from the Coast Guard, like all the different like instructors per se. They were all from different, and they weren't necessarily drill instructors before. They were just like prior service guys, and now you're putting on like a campaign cover and just like yelling at kids. Trouble youth, yeah. But yeah, we did that. We would shine fucking leather boots.
Are you wearing BDUs?
Yeah, we would wear they were like dark blue BDU bottoms with like a polo top with black combat boots, like Bates combat boots.
The blue BDUs sound kind of hard though.
Yeah. No, it looked goofy as shit. We looked like nerds. We looked like dropouts.
Well, yeah, once you put a polo on it, it's terrible.
Huh?
Well, yeah, once you put a polo on top of camis, it's terrible. Don't do that.
It didn't look good. But, yeah, did that and went through all the classes, got the GED, and then they had all the recruiters coming in. And they were like, I was like, where's the Marine Corps recruiter at? Because, like, my whole life, I always had an interest in the Marine Corps because my dad and stuff, and I grew up playing war and stuff like that in the creek and shooting each other with BB guns and throwing dirt clawed grenades and shit and all kinds of stuff. But I mean, I even did my social studies project on the Marine Corps in high school.
So they got you young.
Yeah, I got like second place in the county. The county. But yeah, so I was like, "Where's the Marine Corps recruiter at?" And they were like, "They don't come here." And I'm like, "Why not?" And they're like, "Well, because they don't accept GEDs. They only accept high school diplomas. They're the only branch that only accepts a high school diploma and an ASVAB above 50 at the time." And I was like, "Okay." And they were like, "Why do you want to join the Marine Corps?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to join the Marine Corps." And they were like, "But you can't with a GED." I'm like, "I'll find a way.
Watch me."
And pretty much I found a way. So after that, that's when I went through a little bit of a event with my mom because she wasn't living the best lifestyle, and I kind of wanted to do better for myself.
Yeah, you're reformed now.
Yeah, the only way to get away from it was to remove myself from that environment and situation. So,
which obviously you matured enough to understand that at the time, like that's not good for you.
Yeah, and I did, and once I lived with my cousin, I was filling out job applications. My mom realized she wasn't going to get the child support anymore
because you're 18.
Because I wasn't living with her.
Oh,
yeah. So
she's like, "You're moving back now.
You got to get back in the house, boy." And I was like, "All right." And I was like, "Well, that's not going to happen." So she called the cops. Cops came over to my cousin's house. They were like, "Hey, we hate to do this, but you gotta go back with her." And I was like, "All right, well, the only way you're taking me out of here is in fucking handcuffs." And they
totally reformed.
They fucking took my ass out in handcuffs because I did not want to go with her. And I got in the car and I threw a fucking fit. I swear I was trying to break the fucking windows out of the back of that car. I was sitting in the back seat and I was so fucking mad. And it was an old maroon Buick LeSabre. I was punching the fucking windows out in the back of that thing. I was so fucking mad. And called my dad and I told her, I was like, "I want my fucking phone." And she was keeping my phone from me.
Damn.
And I wanted to call my dad. And she wouldn't let me talk to him. And then she let me sit in my room overnight. She took the doors off the hinges. Everything like that. And came back out. And I was like, "Can I have my phone now?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Are you going to call your dad?" And I'm like, "Yep." She's like, "Are you going to go live with him?" And I'm like, "Yep." She's like, "Okay." I called him, told him everything that happened. He drove down overnight, crashed at where my grandma used to live, her husband living at. Got like a couple hours of sleep, got back in the car with him, drove back up to Wisconsin, and that was it.
Damn.
Came back down for a court date after that, and custody, something or another. And then after that, I just went back to Wisconsin, and that's where I stayed. Nice. And once I got there, they had a program kind of like for troubled youth again. But it was basically you could go to this building or school or something or another that wasn't an actual high school. Go take these classes if you dropped out. Get your GED.
You already have your GED though, right?
And then take some high school equivalency classes, and then you could get your high school diploma for the area you live in. And I was like, well, I've already got my GED. And
so you went in and took electives.
I went in, I took banking and public speaking.
Damn.
So I had a GED education, and I took banking and public speaking, and that was in 3 months, and I got my high school diploma, and I technically graduated a year early than I was supposed to.
Look at this guy.
Yep.
So, wanting to join the Marines, he found a way.
Yep.
Right, you found a way. Got a high school diploma.
Got my high school diploma.
Which I don't think they require that anymore, just because recruiting's ass right now.
Oh, it's horrible right now.
It's all-time low.
They can't get anybody to join. Yeah.
So
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's a shit show.
We'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
I love the military.
Yeah, I love the military.
So, obviously, you went and talked to a Marine recruiter, got fucked, right? Because that's the common story.
Yep.
Right? We have this in common.
Yep.
How did you get fucked specifically?
So, I took my ASVAB when I was in the military academy.
What'd you get?
I think I got like a 55.
Hell yeah, brother. That's enough.
Dumber than a box of rocks.
I got a 78. And I felt like a box, like dumber than a box of rocks. Because like all the kids that are around me, they're like, we're going to the military. All scored like 80s and 90s. None of them joined.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I scored in the highest percentile in auto mechanics.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, so
mechanical is also one of my highest as well.
Went and signed my open contract.
How many years?
For 4.
Hell yeah, that's the way to do it. If you're listening and you think about joining the military, do a 4-year contract. 6 years will usually get you more rank and a little bit more money, and that's cool and all. But most guys who do 6 regret it because they hate their lives like halfway through their contract, and they have to wait even longer to get out.
If you're gonna do it, do 4. See how you feel. See if you still want to be a part of the.
You can always re-up and get a bonus.
Yeah, so they were offering bonuses even when times were tough when I was in.
I've never gotten a bonus. I do it for the love of the game.
Yeah, I did it for the love of the fam, the boys, the gun club.
So, you enlist. You got mechanical.
I got went to boot camp.
No job.
I didn't find out my MOS until like the last week of boot camp.
So people who don't know, open contract means you don't have an assigned job when you join the military. So like, what your basic was 12 weeks?
12 or 13.
12 weeks. So usually, I'm guessing for you guys, like week 9 or 10, you go in and you like put down a list of jobs.
No.
They just give you one.
Camp?
Yeah.
No. So you pick your job designation or your MOS before you go to boot camp, at least for the Marine Corps.
But you were open. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was open. So I didn't find out until probably about week 10 or 11. And they sat us down on what they call a 5x5. So it's 5 people in the front, 5 people, whatever. And we all sat Indian style in front of the drill instructor duty hut. And a senior comes out and he starts just reading off everybody's MOS.
Oh, interesting. So Air Force a little bit different because I came in on open contract as well. And for Air Force, like our basic was like 8 weeks. It wasn't shit. But like week 5 or 6, we go into like a giant like classroom setting, and everyone who's on an open contract, they give you a packet because like I was open mechanical, right, same as you. And so these are the jobs that are open for your class, and it changes like every week of what jobs are open and what they need. And you just put down like a wish list. Yeah. And there's no guarantee you're gonna get it. My top job I didn't get because of my depth perception. I got my second job, which really it was one of my top jobs that I wanted to do anyways. And you find out like the last week basically where you're going, and then like at the same time is when you do your dream sheet for where you want to be stationed. But again, that all is dependent on what job you have. Yeah. So yeah, ours is a little bit different where I actually had a bit of a say to an extent, right? Like other guys really didn't. Like they put a bunch of stuff and they didn't get like anything on their list. I got lucky enough to get like my second pick that was to one that I wasn't qualified for. So I looked out there. Yeah. But it's interesting that they're just like, this is your job. Yeah. And so you were a mechanic.
Yeah, so he comes
taking shit apart like always.
He comes out and he's just like, hey, You're 3521, motor T mechanic. And I'm like, cool. Aye, sir. What's that? I was like, what the hell is that? Yeah. I don't even know what the hell that is. And he's like, you know the big trucks? I'm like, yes, sir. He goes, you fix the big trucks now. Hell and I'm like, roger that.
I like big trucks.
Yes, sir.
Ford F-150.
I'm fixing big trucks all day.
So, are you allowed to call, like, you guys call them drill instructors? Mm-hmm. Or do you call them sir?
You call them sir throughout the entirety of boot camp until you complete the crucible, which is like the big culminating event that makes you a Marine. And then after that, you start calling them by their rank.
Okay. And then that just kind of carries on for you guys.
Yep.
Because, like, being Air Force, we have to call everyone sir and ma'am. Mm-hmm. Or, like, hey, tech sergeant, which sometimes they'll get a hair up there. So it's technical sergeant. It's tech sergeant. My God. Staff sergeant. Yeah. Right? And then once you graduate, you still call everyone ma'am and sir, right? Because this was respect. I've gotten yelled at by Army and Marines when I call them sir or ma'am, just because it's been ingrained in me. Like, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Like, I work for a living. Like, I was like, oh, shit, my bad. Sorry, sir. Shit. And then I get smoked all over again.
Yeah, I do it. It's just a habit for me.
I mean, you basically, I consider West Virginia the South, right? You basically grew up in the South, old school manners.
That's the way I was raised. It's like, yes, sir, no, sir, no, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Like, and opening the door for people and just common courtesies and stuff like that.
So we got Gringo in the Marine Corps. He found his love for Latinos, right? We talked about that. Yep. Where's your first duty station?
Camp Schwab, Okinawa, Japan.
Fucking lucky, dude. All I ever wanted was overseas.
Yep. So I was in the schoolhouse, Camp Johnson, and that's when they came with us with a list of duty station preferences. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I had heard somebody through the grapevine that if you were putting overseas, you were getting it because they couldn't get people to go overseas. Yeah. And I was like, fuck it. I didn't join the Marine Corps to just sit the fuck around. Yeah. Like, I'm trying to go out and see some shit. So I put overseas, didn't know exactly where that was. And then I put Hawaii, and then I put Camp Pendleton. I'm like, get me anywhere away from the fucking East Coast.
That's right, because you were East Coast Marine.
Yeah, no. So I joined out of Wisconsin, and I went to San Diego.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. That's not common, right?
It's everything west of the Mississippi goes to San Diego. Everything east of the Mississippi goes to Lejeune.
All the Marines I've ever met have always been fucking Hollywood Marines.
Yeah. What is it? The fucking Lejeune Marines, they always bitch about the sandflies. Well, I mean, you wouldn't know.
I've never really met an East Coast Marine. Like, most of the Marines I've met have all been Pendleton.
Fair enough. But, got orders to Combat Assault Battalion, no longer around. They got deactivated a few years back.
It happens.
But that was.
So that means a lot of fucking cool training, doing cool shit, shooting cool things, hanging out with cool people.
Yeah, went to Fuji, went to Korea. That was fun.
What base in Korea?
We went to Camp Rodriguez.
Okay.
First.
How often were you guys in MOP gear? People who don't know what MOP gear is, it's like gas mask and your chemical gear.
We were there. So for those that aren't aware, typically happens maybe once or twice a year. North and South Korea will get into some shit with each other.
Always.
Whether or not it's like fucking throwing missiles back and forth.
Or rocks.
Or throwing missiles and shit at each other over the DMZ at like propaganda speakers and shit. So like what South Korea will do, they'll set up along the DMZ or along the border like little outposts with speakers that will blast like, hey, like, North Korea, it's kind of not such a great place.
They're being not so chill.
Yeah, they're not being really so chill over there. So if you want to come hang out with us where it's like normal world, like we'd love to have you kind of stuff. And then North Korea will get pissed and then they'll fucking send a missile over and blow it up and miss. And then everybody's in fucking MOP gear and all kinds of shit.
Dude, at least Air Force wise, if you go to Korea, dude, like half your time you're doing exercises in MOP gear. Like they're out there fixing planes in MOP gear. You're doing construction in MOP gear.
Yeah.
Like
we were up at Camp Rodriguez and I think it was one of the most northern bases.
As I say, that's up by the border.
Yeah, we were up near the DMZ and we did some training ops and stuff up there for a couple weeks and then we got orders back down to Osan.
Are all those videos from Camp Rodriguez where those guys are like fucking like eating the snake or like biting the snake or whatever?
No, that is in Thailand.
Oh, is it in Thailand? I always heard it was Korea.
I want to say that
where they're breakdancing against each other.
No, yeah, so no, that's Thailand. In Korea, we work with the ROK Marines, the Republic of Korea Marines.
I watched Squid Games. I know about cool. Korean Marines. You
always trade gear and shit with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they'll trade like MREs or like uniforms and stuff with them and stuff. It's pretty cool. But wait, what did you ask again?
I was asking about the snake, but you said it was in Thailand.
That's in Thailand. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say that operation's called Cobra Gold.
Are you saying that fucking Instagram lied to me?
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah. I never got to do that. I always wanted to do that. That was super cool. I always wanted to drink the snake blood, but never got the chance.
So then you go to Okinawa, so were you there when that civilian killed a bunch of women off base and they locked down the base?
When I got there, they had libo restrictions. So basically,
that was during the DUI's era, right?
I got there around 2013. I was there from 2013 into 2013 to the end of 2015.
Oh, so this is like your first year in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, first. So I joined in March of 2013. And then I was at my duty station in Japan by like November of that year.
I enlisted on December 3rd, 2013 in the Air Force.
Oh, nice.
Like I signed my contract, did my oath, everything like that, like way beforehand. Mm-hmm. But dude, like getting out the door with the Air Force was taking fucking forever. Yeah. It took like almost a year. I almost went Navy because I got tired of waiting.
I wanted to go grunt. I wanted to go 0311 and they were going to let me, but they said that I wouldn't go to boot camp for another 9 months. Fuck that. And I was like, fuck that, dude. I'm trying to go now.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So you were there before they fucking like closed down because that was like what 2016 where they locked that base down to where Marines could not leave.
They may have. I know when I first got there, they had the liberal restrictions where you couldn't go out in town or go to a bar and drink. You could only go to a restaurant that was a legitimate restaurant that also just happened to serve alcohol. It wasn't the whole basis of their business, like a bar.
Yeah.
And you could have 2 alcoholic beverages with your meal.
Hell yeah.
That was it. If you were on base, you were only allowed to have a 6-pack of beer in your fridge if you were of age. And you were a junior Marine. If you were an NCO, you were allowed to have a bottle of liquor or a bottle of wine or a 12-pack of beer in your fridge in your room. And then that got lifted. And then we just went total ape shit.
Yeah, as you should.
We went ape shit. They lifted it like around, I want to say, middle of 2014.
You can't lift restrictions on military members because we get fucking wild.
Brother. Before that, we were doing barracks parties every weekend because you couldn't go out in town and drink.
Yeah.
Because you would risk getting in trouble. So what we'd do, we would stay home, essentially, on base. And
everyone gets a 6-pack and show up.
And like, you're on an island, a Japanese island in the middle of the ocean, fucking thousands of miles away from home. And you're like, well, what else am I going to do? It's either I'm going to play video games, I'm going to drink, or I'm going to go to the gym. And some people find a combination of all 3. Some people find 2. Some people only find 1.
How many did you find?
I found all of them.
Oh, did you? Okay.
At some point or another. I found the gym. Not so much. Gym wasn't my strong point.
Oh, not yet. Okay.
Video games was big with me. I loved playing video games, of course. Okay. And then loved drinking. Love drinking.
Okay.
Yeah, we the barracks parties would get so out of control that at some point we started a fight club behind the barracks on the weekends.
That's like a common Marine, Army, Navy thing.
Yeah,
Air Force. I don't know if we're just pussies or not, but like I would wrestle every once in a while. But like I never sat there and got shit faced with my boys. Like we need to fight.
We only ever had one rule, and it was no face shots. Because if you showed up to formation Monday morning with a black eye, it would raise questions. Like, you can only use the, I fell down the stairs or fell into my door frame fucking excuse so many times. And so it would just be strictly body shots and submissions. And I love that shit. There was one guy.
You would get shit faced and then fight, right?
Shit faced and then fight.
Okay.
Yep. You're playing beer pong, drinking all hours of the night behind the barracks. And then around 2 or 3 in the morning is when Fight Club starts.
Damn.
And that's just, it's, I think it was 2-minute rounds, 3 rounds, and it was body shots and submissions only.
Is it call out style?
Yep.
Okay.
It was.
Get out some aggression.
It was like, if you get called out, you fucking step up or you're just a bitch.
Yeah. Like, the worst thing to be.
Yeah, you were getting shit talked for the rest of the time. Like, oh yeah, this motherfucking pussy didn't step up and fight last weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would do that. That was good. some of the best group of guys I ever met was
those military friendships are different, dude.
I was stationed with over in Japan. Those guys were solid guys out there. Went to Fuji. Camp Fuji was a blast. Got to go hang out in Tokyo on our libo. We were out there.
How was that?
Oh, dude, it was amazing.
That's sick.
Tokyo is fantastic. Yeah. What's his? David Diaz, Elnicio Diaz, bare knuckle fighter. He was out in Japan. He's a cool guy. I sponsored him.
I know. He actually recently started. I've been following him for like well over like a year. He just recently started following me back, and I was like blown away. I was like, I love that dude.
He's the coolest fucking people. He's like I need to kick it with him. We need to try and get him out here and talk to him.
I would love that dude. He seems like such a humbled man.
Yeah.
I just love the video of when like he wins and he just spends the whole time shouting at his mom.
Yeah, they're trying to vote for him to win Fight of the Year right now.
Are they? I'll go vote.
Of all the fights, him and
check him out, dude. Like he's bare knuckle boxing. He's good with it.
KFC, Elnicio Diaz.
He can schmoove around.
He's legit. He's a cool guy.
Even his training videos, I'm like, dude, I don't want to get punched by that guy.
But yeah, I was telling him, I'm like, dude, if you're over in Tokyo, you got to hit Shibuya Crossing. You got to stay away from Roppongi. You gotta go to Coco's Curry. You gotta do all this. He's like, oh fuck yeah, bro, fuck yeah. And he was like, dude, he was living it up over there, dude. He's having a blast.
He looked like he was having a good time. I saw his stories.
But yeah, so yeah, I was in Japan for a
so
little.
Like your whole career is basically overseas.
No, so that was just the 2 years. A majority of my career was stateside over in Camp Pendleton. So after that, I got orders over to First Marine Raider Support Battalion.
Ooh.
Yeah, the high-speed, low-drag Bubbas of the Marine Corps.
Hell yeah, that's a legacy.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's weird. So like for Air Force, like once you go overseas, it costs them way too much money to bring you back. So you're just gonna spend your whole career overseas.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising,
like,
considering the Air Force, as Marines, we've always told each other and said like the Air Force has the most money of all the branches because they always have the nicest gear.
They do. They just spend it on some, but they like once you go overseas, you don't want to come back,
and
right?
Like, it's the Air Force, dude. Like, what do you mean you can't afford to fly your guys all over?
I think it's just it just makes more sense for them just to be like, we have an opening in Germany. Like, so for me to get out of South Dakota, the only way to get out of that black hole of a base was to go to Korea. And then once you go to Korea, most of those guys are sticking overseas, right? Yeah. Like they'll even try to get stateside, but like, no, you're going to Guam, you're going to Germany, you're going to England.
I mean, that'll happen with guys. Marines over in Japan, like I don't know how many staff sergeants and gunnies and stuff over there ended up having like wives and families and stuff, and somehow or another they get in good with the career planner and they're staying over in Japan for the next 6 to 8 years. And it's like, well, I mean, cool. Like if that's where you want to be, like, and there's a lot of guys that end up staying over in Japan and stuff, even once they get out.
I knew a guy, he got citizenship over there.
Yep. There's an old timer, old Vietnam vet. I don't know if he's still around. If anybody is in the cream corn and over in Japan, over in Kintown, right outside of Camp Hansen, there was a bar called the Saloon and another country bar. I can't remember what it was called, but there was an old guy called BK. He's all tatted up, would wear coveralls and stuff, and he owned that bar. That guy is a good guy. Super cool guy. We used to bounce for him and stuff over at the Saloon on the weekends. Make a little side money, throwing other Marines and shit out into the street.
Hell yeah!
But
Fight Club Part 2.
Yeah, he's a super cool guy.
So I still want to talk about your military service, but I want to talk. What was like the most influential or impactful thing of your time in like the Marines? Like what's something that you really really held on to? Was like the most important thing you took from it? And I know it's a big question because there's so many things, right?
That's a big question.
I know. Take a second, ponder it.
What did I take most from it? That there are individuals out there, like when I say this, I would do anything for, first and foremost, my wife. Like,
yeah.
I would bury bodies in the desert for my wife.
Oh, yeah, without question.
But it was like the first realization that there are people other than your direct family that you would literally like do anything for.
Yeah.
Like that you would die for.
I tell this to people all the time. It's like in the military, especially. Like, I don't like everyone in the military. Not everyone in the military likes me, right?
No.
If I think you're a piece of shit and I fucking hate your guts, like I'll tell it to your face, but I'm still going to take a bullet for you.
Yeah. Like I had I had shitbag tendencies. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, dude, same.
Like, I for sure did. Like, and I'm
Hands
sure
in pockets.
I'm sure there's going to be people out there that'll probably say something to somebody, be like, "Yeah, he was a fucking shitbag. He's lazy." And you know what, man? Yeah, I probably was. I was also going through some shit too in my own personal matters, but you know, it is what it is. So
yeah, but it's just I think that's like one of my biggest things too. It's just like the friendships, the camaraderie. Like so many people that are uncles to my boys.
Yeah.
It's just some dudes I met along the way.
Yeah.
We went through some shit together and we're like, we're family.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing I took from it was probably the lifelong amigos.
Hell yeah.
So of course, like there's going to be those guys that you were close with in the service and stuff that, you know, you drift apart. I mean, it just happens. It happens. But
at any point in time, you fucking hit that guy up when you're in his side of the country or world, and you go get a beer, and it's like no time has passed.
And like I'll get hit up from guys I served with all the time, and they'll just see how I'm doing, and I'll do it sometimes too. Probably not the best at it, but try to work at it. But you know, just keep in touch with each other and stuff.
Check in on your homies.
Yeah,
that's an important thing to do.
Check in with the homies.
So Marine Corps. I don't know if you want to get into why you left yet, or if you want to save that for when we talk about separating from the military.
I'll get into it real quick. So basically, I got separated from the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
I was going through some shit at the time when I was stationed at 1st Marine Raider Support Battalion.
Mm-hmm.
I was going through some shit with my wife and some shit family-wise. Yeah. And couch surfing a little bit. Basically, what had happened was it's just because I always have this fear of people making false assumptions and stuff like that. So I'll clarify a little bit.
Whatever you feel comfortable with.
Me and my wife, we were going through some stuff, and
do you want to clarify that it's ex-wife?
Yeah, ex-wife.
Okay. Ex-wife.
Ex-wife.
His wife now is lovely.
Yeah.
I don't want him to do this whole story and you guys think it's his wife now.
No, I was just in the mindset, putting myself there at the time.
Yeah, back at the time, yeah.
But no, my ex-wife at the time, we had plans. We had gone through some shit, ups and downs throughout our whole marriage and stuff, and basically got back, was going through shit almost every day, and fighting and all that kind of fun military spousal stuff.
Yeah.
And came down to eventually she was just going to go back to Australia, which is where she's from. And she was going to go back where I was going to save money for maybe like the last year or so that I was planning to be in the Marine Corps. Mm-hmm. And then just have like a big nest egg to kind of fall back on while I figured out whatever it was I was going to do in the
So you're already planning on getting out?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she went over to Australia. Things didn't work out without getting into details.
Yeah. It was her, not him.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify. This guy is amazing.
Yeah. Well, there was probably things on both of our ends.
Yeah,
sure. But I'll be mature and say that there's some things I could have done better on too.
If I had to blame somebody on what I know, she's definitely in the wrong.
But I mean, I don't want to
I'll call her out, dude.
I don't want to badmouth the mother of my children.
I know you don't. You know, but that's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Don't make me say the Australian's favorite word right now.
No, don't. But yeah, it didn't work out, and then.
So you sought gym therapy.
Yeah, I went through some shit, and then yeah, dude, I was just in a bad state of mind. I was couch surfing, drinking a lot. Then I started going to the gym, and I mean, before that, I was going to I went to the psych and stuff, and tried to get looked at for. I got diagnosed with clinical depression and all this other shit, and he's like, "All right, well, we'll put you on the drugs." Got on the drugs, didn't like them.
Yeah, nobody ever does.
Made me emotionless.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I was basically just a
hollow shell.
Yeah.
Just no moving through life.
Nothing, like something sad, something happy.
It just numbs you.
Numbed to me. And I didn't like it. I was like, you know what? I'd rather feel something than feel nothing.
Yeah.
So they had warned against just stopping taking antidepressants cold turkey because it could be drastic.
You could have some some bad thoughts.
Yeah, you could kill yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, well, I'm just gonna quit it. Like, I ain't got time for all this shit.
So you did do a cold turkey?
Yeah, I quit a cold turkey.
Damn.
And I felt 10 times better. I had the opposite reaction.
Hell yeah. Out here loving life.
Yeah, I was like feeling better, feeling happy, and then that kind of wore off, and then right back to the hole again.
Life's a roller coaster, man.
Wanted me to carry around a journal and write down every time I felt bad and what I was thinking about before I started feeling bad. And I tried doing it, and I couldn't fucking do it, dude. It's so depressing carrying around a fucking notebook around the battalion and everywhere all day, and it's just like,
dude, imagine
like, what are you doing?
Yeah, imagine one of your boys got a hold of it, because like we love each other in the military. But if I found that dirt all on my boy, I would rip on him for it. Like, oh, you fucking sad right now?
Exactly. It's like finding a diary.
Yeah.
And I'm carrying it around with me every day, and I'm going to leave it on a desk or something somewhere, and someone's going to find it. Yeah. So I was like, I'm not doing that either. So I just stopped doing that, and I found meditation and stress relief in the gym.
The Iron Church, as some call it.
Yep. So I started going to the gym a lot. Still feeling down. It's basically going to the gym out of anger.
Yeah, just working all those emotions out.
Yeah, I was like anger lifting. And even then I was still eating like shit because I was depressed and everything. And then somebody came up to me and said, you might feel a little bit better, if you hop on some juice or some testosterone. Maybe.
Steroids.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah. How much time did you have left at this point?
God, I don't know.
Less than a year.
Yeah, this is all within like the last 2 years. I don't remember
the
exact time frames of everything, but yeah, I started doing that. Got big pretty quick. Wasn't trying to get big necessarily. I just kind of
wanted to feel better.
Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. Like I was trying to look good and feel good about myself.
Yeah, build up your own confidence.
So I was doing test and trend.
Oh shit, both.
Yeah, I was doing trend.
Damn.
Yeah, trend was a little crazy.
So I've heard.
Yeah. But put on some weight. And then the guy that I was getting my stuff off of, he got pinched, and
he was a Marine too, right?
Yeah. And he got pinched, and because of somebody else doing something else, and as a byproduct, his stuff went through, and then they found some stuff.
They found you.
Found me, and then it was like...
And yet again, did not snitch.
Yeah, he came up to me.
He keeps that consistent.
Yeah, came up and was like, yo, so you doing steroids? And I'm like, what the fuck do you think, dude? Came up and I was like, fuck, dude. I was fucking sitting at like 297 pounds at the time, just yoked out of my mind, barely breathing. There's no hiding it. And he's like, all right, well, he's like, what do you think about this? And he's like sliding the phone across, and he's just showing all the fucking...
I'm going to interject real quick. This is crazy to me because, like, deployed, bro, all the Marines were juiced.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it just seemed like such a common thing.
Oh, yeah. There are Marines out there right now that have multi-millions of followers on Instagram that
Air
are
Force
definitely
too.
On the juice.
Yeah.
And
they just look away. Like, oh, making the Marine Corps look good.
It's a recruitment tool, dude.
Yeah, dude.
It's a recruitment tool. The
kids, hypocrisy.
The young kids go on Instagram. They see the big, giant, fucking buffed out Marine working out and doing jumping push-up claps and all kinds of shit.
It takes one officer to get a hair up their ass about we need to crack down on steroid use.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they do.
But it's like, it's the Marine Corps, dude. You really want a bunch of fucking string beans running around?
No. That's why I didn't join.
Yeah, so
I actually I met a guy who had to get a weight waiver when he joined the Marines.
Oh, really?
Dude, so I was small, dude. I was small when I joined the military. Dude was smaller than me. Joined the Marines was like a $105. Yeah. A little bit shorter than me. Yeah. And I'm 5'9", dude, and he was like 105 pounds. Yeah. But he was just gonna be in the Marine Corps band, so they didn't give a fuck.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I was like, oh, dude, get that boy some Trent.
Oh, my God. Yeah, SARMs.
So, you got caught.
Yeah, got caught. And they're like, all right, well, start ad sepping you.
So you've gone through a lot of hard times, a lot of adversity, right? Between just listening, right, growing up, getting caught smoking weed, going to a fucking military academy, right, from a young age, joining the Marine Corps. Shit's going good for 2 years, right, and then starts going downhill fast again.
Got into some fights as a kid too.
Got into some fights, lying about breaking your arm. Marriage kind of imploding, going into depression, getting kicked out of the Marine Corps, which meant a lot to you, which I can't imagine, like, just going through that transition. The transition's already hard, but like also having that shame with it.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you get yourself out of that, man? Like, honestly, not say that like, oh, this guy should have offed himself, but like, no, that's like that's a difficult thing to go through. And I'm wanting to know, it's like your mindset, like it was already not doing great. We talked about that, it was not doing great, and it got worse. Like, how did you pick yourself up by your bootstraps? How did you manage that?
Well, it was hard. Still kind of dealing with it, still a little sour about it.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. But at the end of the day, like, I've kind of accepted it for what it is, like, at the end of the day, I made a choice, and it wasn't the right choice, and I accepted responsibility for my actions, and in turn, the gun club that I had loved for so long, still do. And a lot of people that I had asked to go up, and it is a big ask because it's people putting their neck on the line and their reputation on the line, but people I thought would have written character statements in my favor didn't at the time. I mean, mind you, this was the only negative thing I'd had happen my entire Marine Corps career.
Yeah.
Never had an NJP. I think I maybe had like one negative counseling or something like that.
You guys have Article 15s?
I think so.
Okay. You never had any of those?
No, I don't think so.
And you get kind of left high and dry.
Never had page 11s that weren't already like mandated. Yeah, I was pretty squeaky clean, or under the radar for the most part.
Yeah. But like post-military, what was life looking like for you? And we'll dive more into today, but like, right, getting out of military, did you stay in San Diego?
The day that I signed my DD-214, it was kind of a gut check, because when I went to, I forget the name of the office where you go. It's like S. I don't even know if it's an S shop. I forget the name of the building or the place or whatever. You go to sign your DD-214. It's over there near the flight line or whatever, but on Pendleton. But I went there, signed it, and they were like, yeah, you're getting demoted down to Lance Corporal.
Seriously?
Yep. I got demoted on my last day in the Marine Corps from Sergeant to Lance Corporal. Jesus. Last day. 10 minutes before I got out. Got demoted.
Damn.
On my DD-214.
Fuck that.
Yeah. So, yeah, signed it. Got my paperwork. And then kind of hung out on base for a little bit, because I was like, well.
Oh, you didn't get escorted off?
No. They took my CAC and everything, and they're like, all right, you're good to go. I'm like, cool. And I got my paperwork, and I kind of drove around on base. Kind of looked at the sights one last time. Yeah. Didn't know if it was going to be the last time I seen it or not. And then kind of said bye to some of my boys on base, and then drove right out the front gate, fucking blasting some tunes, and happy as could be. I was like, well, I was going to get out regardless. So.
Yeah. So where did you go?
Went back to Long Beach.
Long Beach. Okay.
Now beautiful wife, Belinda.
I didn't know you went to Long Beach.
Yes, we were dating about a year before I got out.
Okay.
So
you're chilling in Long Beach.
Yeah.
And so how long ago was this for my timeline? This was what, 4 years ago?
This
is it less?
Been 2020. I got
2020.
October of 2020.
So yeah, 4 years ago. God damn, fucking big math guy over here. So 4 years ago, and you're moving through life. Yep. What's life looking like now? So obviously you have a loving relationship with a great woman.
Yep, I was already dating Belinda for about a year, and
it's your time to earn some brownie points.
Dude, she came at like the best point in my life because it was like, I mean, she didn't ask for it, but it was like right when I was going through all that shit, like going through like talking to the lawyers and going through my processing and everything like that. It was a whole process, and I was going through it mentally, and she was there for me. So she came at like the best possible
the best time for you. So that kind of going back to my question of like how you got through all that is a lot. Her being there and having that extra support.
My family was super understanding. I'd felt really bad and like a let down, like my service was all for nothing pretty much. And
how did your dad take it?
My dad was cool with it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say he was cool with it. It was just like understanding. He thought it was a little bit of bullshit. I mean, even at the time, my battalion commander, like right when I got brought in, he came up to me. He's like, listen, he's like, had this been 5-6 years ago, like
no one would have cared.
We would have just gave you a slap on the wrist, maybe gave you an NJP and called it a day. I mean, this is coming from the battalion commander. It was NCIS that was pushing all this shit. And I was like, I get it. I was like, they want their pound of flesh, and I'm the closest one to it besides the guys in question. So they're already getting super fucked. So
you lived in Long Beach.
Yeah, I lived in Long Beach with her.
And that's...
But the whole time I was getting ready to get processed out, I told everybody, I'd had it in my head that I was going to do welding.
Okay.
So,
and that's what you ended up doing?
That's what I ended up doing. I got access to not all my benefits, but my GI Bill benefits from my first enlistment.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, I was still able to use my GI Bill. Went to welding school. Got certified in welding science. I got a certificate of science in welding technologies or something like that. It wasn't even a diploma or anything like that. It was just like a little certificate.
Yeah.
Got a job at a little pipe and steel fab shop in Lakewood. Worked there for a couple years, or a year or so, and then got linked up with the union out of Orange County, the pipe fitters union, and went and worked with them for few years, then came out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to modern day. So when did the idea for Gringo Tactical start? Because like what was the inspiration or motive there, right? Because you go through all this shit, right? Like, at what point were you like, I want to be a part of this community, I want to do something different?
I'd always liked like the whole counter custody aspect of things, and like hiding things and concealment and the whole tactical community side of things. And that kind of like sparked up like once I went through SEER when I was with Raider Support Battalion, and
that'll do it.
That was a cool experience. That was the worst training I've ever had in my life.
It's the most practical training, but it's ass. Like you hate it during it.
Yeah. The new 28 years later trailer, the zombie movie, the song that they play in the trailer, the boots moving up and down again.
Yeah.
They play that song in SEER when you're
really?
locked in your cell for isolate. I don't know if I can talk about it.
You can't. You're not supposed to.
Just cut that part out. Maybe not. I didn't talk too much about it.
No, it's fine. What are they going to do? Give you an Article 15?
They make you sign NDAs for all this shit, so I don't know what I can and can't talk about, but I've heard people talking about SEER and shit all the time.
No, that you didn't say anything specifically.
But yeah.
Everything they teach you, you can Google. You're just not supposed to know that they train us on it.
I will say this. They have a playlist set aside
just for this.
A vast amount of time that you will be exposed to. In a particular environment.
I didn't go through SEER. I went through something that's very equivalent to SEER, but it's different, which I won't get into. But yeah,
I'll ask you about it.
Yeah, we'll talk off camera about it.
But yeah, that kind of sparked. Like I got to, so we were like learning to do certain. I want to talk.
No, you were learning a lot of skills, and then you're like, oh hey, I really like this aspect of it. And then diving into research, you're like, oh shit, looking at tactical everyday carry.
Yeah, looking into
finding out about Ed,
finding out about Ed Calderon.
Yeah,
Manifesto Radio podcast. He's a super cool guy. Yeah, got the Santa Muerte candle from Ed, Sneak Reaper. I just bought that. He didn't send it to us. I buy all my stuff from him.
But you can sponsor us.
Yeah.
I gotta plug it. I gotta plug it.
They got their own deal, dude. He's got his own podcast.
He does. He's killing it. I love that, man.
He's a great guy. Hopefully we'll get him on.
I didn't know he was following me until the first time we met. I don't know if we talked about. I don't think we talked about last podcast. I listened to that last podcast like 8 times while I was editing. I didn't know Ed was following me until you told me the first time we met up, and I did not believe you.
Yep.
Because I've been following Ed for a minute. I love Ed's stuff, and you're like, he's following you. I'm like, I would have known.
I was like, dude, when I go to your page, it says he's following you.
And Lord and behold.
You're like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, he's following you.
It's a big deal for me.
Super cool guy.
Get your ID in everyday carry.
Yeah,
so hold up. Wait, let's go to a quick segment real quick.
Okay.
What's your everyday carry? Like, what's your essential stuff? Let's give the people some knowledge.
Do I pull it out or do I just
go for it for our visual people?
Well, there's some things that I'm not entirely sure would be.
Don't pull. You can talk about that one. Don't pull that one out.
Okay. All right. So
he's gonna pull out his everyday carry pack.
So I always carry a knife.
Yeah.
Always carry a knife.
What do you got on you today?
It is a half face blades folder. Pretty nice. I've had it for a little while. I use it almost every day. Carry it every day. It's pretty nice. I carry that. I'll typically carry some Zins. Carry some Zin pouches with me.
In a little metal canister.
We sold these a little while back. They're pretty cool. What else do I carry? I carry my wallet, which is typically like a little. Let's see if I can pull it out here. Hobo sack. It's got all my cards and stuff in there. It's pretty cool. And then, and then I'll carry my little fanny pack, my little tactical fanny pack. I'll try to pull it out here.
I love me a good tactical fanny pack.
Oh yeah, they're the best.
I've been rocking them nonstop recently.
Okay, so
do you do crossbody or do you wear them like a fanny pack?
I wear it crossbody.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so in here I've got, it's one of the silent ones, so it's got like a Faraday bag cage in it for your cell phone and whatnot.
Oh, nice.
So that way you can just like drop off the face of the planet really quick if you want to. Make sure you're not wearing your watch, though. It doesn't really make any fucking sense if you're putting your phone in here and then you're still wearing a
smartwatch. That is, yeah.
Yeah, like, come on now. Have some common sense. But inside of here, it's mainly just medical.
Which is like the most important part to carry, let's be honest. You're going to use it more than anything else.
A lot of people nowadays, they don't carry enough medical stuff on them. So it's like you're more likely to get fucked up or injured or help somebody that's fucked up or injured than you are to fuck somebody else up.
Do I carry enough medical? No, I carry a tourniquet.
So, I mean, I carry that too.
Of course.
But I've got 2 of the Snake Saf system tourniquets in here.
How do you like those?
They're great. I like them a lot. I like the wide ones.
A wide boy.
Yeah, they're my favorite. I like those. They're pretty nifty. I carry some Quick Clot in here. Some combat gauze.
Is it the powder or the gauze?
It's the gauze.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the actual combat gauze. And then I carry a Needle D as well. Needle decompression. That's fun. If you haven't, try to find a good like TCCC course or something like that and go learn yourself up on some medical practices and stuff.
Highly agree. That's my favorite training all time in the military is TCCC.
Grizzly Medical on Instagram. He usually does some pretty good classes. He'll host them with ASD concepts and stuff out there in California. And with Fieldworks too sometimes. So those 3 guys, all great guys, by the way, they'll all link up and kind of not throw together a course, but they'll put a good solid course together. Yeah.
Do you carry, why can't I think of chest seals?
I do.
Do you? Oh.
I do carry some chest seals. Yep, I carry chest seals. I also carry an H bandage too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I carry an H bandage, carry chest seals, carry the Needle D, combat gauze, tourniquets. Sometimes I'll have chapstick in there. I call this my man purse.
Yeah. Now that you're out of California, what else do you carry?
Well, I can't pull it out here. I mean, some people do. There's some podcast. We'll have to look into that. We'll have to see what we can and can't.
We're not monetized regardless on YouTube yet, so it don't fucking matter.
Yeah. I mean, should I pull it out or?
It's up to you, man.
You know what? We'll wait.
Okay.
We'll wait. But I've got a Gen 5 Glock 45. And that's now my everyday carry pistolero, I suppose. So I love it. That's great.
So everyday carry, being prepared is very important to you. And we talked about your drug rugs last time, right? And I think that was so sick, where you had like the stop for the tourniquet, for easy access to if you're concealed carrying.
Yep. So the idea kind of really came to me like right before I went to go see my kids on vacation a couple years back. We're 25 now, 24, 23, probably 23, March of 23. Is when I really started. Excuse me, I burped a little bit. Is when I started the business, Gringo Tactical. But I'd had the idea a few months prior.
Okay.
I'd went to the Hobo Tactical Kickback in Vegas that year.
Did you just show up as just
before that? I was just a fan.
Just fan.
So I was just a fan. I liked Hobo shit.
Hobo's great. I've always been a fan.
He makes some pretty cool sacks. Go check out his sacks. Go check out his sacks. But he makes some pretty cool stuff. He also makes some pretty cool pens, penetrators, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it went and talked to him as just like a consumer. Went and saw all the different vendors, different makers, and stuff like that, and then told him about this idea. And he's like, "Dude, it's a great idea. You need to do it." And I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Hell yeah.
And it's just like I wasn't really looking for that validation. It was just kind of like
it was a little push.
Yeah, it was just kind of like like you need to stop just thinking about it and talking about it. You need to just go fucking do it.
Just fucking be about it.
Yeah,
get your heroes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, not always. But yeah, he kind of pushed me to do it a little bit. Fang Bros too. Asked him.
Fang Bros is great. I love Fang Bros.
He's gonna start doing comm classes and stuff too.
Is he really? I need those in my life.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But he asked him a lot of questions as far as like shipping and stuff like that, and asked them both so many questions. They both helped me out a lot.
Just had a great. That's a like nice thing about our community. If you have questions, for the most part, people are open books. Like I tell people all the time, you message me any question you have, whether it's art related, business related, shipping. Like I'll tell you exactly what I do.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody can eat. I don't care. I ain't getting no secret sauce.
Yeah. I've had people go up to me and ask me all the time. They're just like, so like, what do you think about this idea? And it's just like it's kind of exciting for me because it's like right where I was at when I was asking questions and stuff. And I was like, dude, like the journey after that is
I'm this person now.
It's so much fun.
So if you had to give advice to someone who's just, they have an idea, they want to start this business, they want to make something, what advice do you wish you got sooner or in the beginning that made your life easier?
Do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just be about it. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Do it. Stop being concerned, worried that it's not going to work out, that people aren't going to like it. Don't worry about all that shit. Do it for you.
Yeah.
Do it because you like it. And eventually, if people like your stuff, they will come and they will support you. And you don't want to attract like the wrong kind of attention by doing what you think other people would like.
True.
You need to do what you like, because in the end, when it does become successful, then it's just that much better. You're already doing something you like, and that's to you and to your core and who you are as a person.
Yeah, just be true to yourself.
Compared to being fake just to make a quick buck.
Yeah, don't do that shit.
Yeah.
Don't do shit for the money. Do shit for the passion.
Like, prime example. So, my hoodies, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did the first drop of the hoodies in January of last year now.
Damn, it was that long ago.
Mm-hmm. And immediately after that, my supplier went out of business.
Yeah.
So I haven't sold a hoodie in a year. And all of you out there listening, I know you want your hoodies. I want to make them. I really do. I really want to keep making them. It's just the supplier we had when we first did it. And I feel like everybody kind of needs to hear it from the horse's mouth when I talk about this. But when we did the first drop of the supplier, so basically the way it would work is we would get the hoodie as a whole, right? And then we would alter the hoodie and add our pizzazz to it and then sell the hoodie, right? Yep. We do all of our alterations and modifications and stuff. And so that's how we did it. And we weren't getting all the alterations, modifications made all in one get-go and getting the finalized product shipped to us.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to get to.
You're getting cut and sewn now.
We're trying to get to that point.
Let's be honest, like your distributor possibly like going out of business, right? It's it seems like a big blessing, right? Because it's caused you to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Go on a whole investigation.
Oh my God.
Find a new distributor who can help you with all of that.
There's nothing promising yet.
Okay.
We are talking to a new supplier, and they're the same quality of hoodies that we had on the first drop. Good quality Baja hoodies. They're made in Mexico, which is what I wanted. I wanted,
Keep the culture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
I don't want some shit made in Denver.
Yeah. What's the point?
Or fucking China.
Yeah. So now we're in talks with them about getting the hoodies made and modified as a whole finalized product directly from them. Because before we were altering them, Jesse from Out of Luck Tools, he also co-owns Gringo Tac with me.
Yeah.
I shot him the invitation to co-own Gringo Tac with me because he shares a lot of the same kind of design ideas and attributes that I wanted to contribute, and the drive and stuff to make it succeed. And
just a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Jesse's one of the greatest people. He's the nicest fucking dude you'll ever meet, but he'll choke you out with his fucking index finger. Dude, he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. His ears alone, if you guys ever see Out of Luck or ever see Jesse, I don't know if he's self-conscious about it or not, but it's basically just it's a warrior stripe at this point. But his ears,
his cauliflower ear.
If you see anybody with ears like Jesse's,
don't fuck with him.
Don't fuck with him. No. Especially with how nice Jesse is. There's a reason he's that nice. Yeah. It's because he knows things. He knows how to do things to your body.
Damn. So super stoked to hear about this. Can't wait to hear more about it.
Yeah.
As you get closer.
Yeah. So we're hoping we're in talks with them. Hopefully it works out. We definitely want to keep working with hoodies. We've talked with some other people in the community that have tried to help us out and stuff. So if that doesn't work out, we might, go down those avenues, and one way or another, I'm not going to give up until we're making hoodies again. And I'm not even going to give up once we're making hoodies.
That's it.
I'm not giving up.
Wrap.
Yeah, not giving up. So the hoodies will come back. All right. So
I only got a couple more questions for you.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
So what is a dream project or collaboration that you really want? There's a fucking pipe dream, if you will. What's the one that you started this? You're this is what I want. Besides, obviously, co-hosting a podcast with me.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Every young lad's dream.
Well, I would love to do some collab artwork with you at some point.
Yeah, dude, we've talked about it.
I did love the way the Juicy Devil looked. That was
the thick devil.
Thick devil.
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta see. That's the thing is sometimes I'll come into I don't know how artists do it sometimes because I find myself getting into a creative block and I'm not even an artist. So I find myself coming into a creative block as far as ideas for artwork and stuff. Cause I feel like it's kind of rude to just come up to an artist sometimes and just be like, hey, I want some artwork. I love your artwork, but I don't know what I want. So just make me something.
Okay. So I'm going to look at the camera real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
As an artist, do that. Please.
Oh, okay.
I'd rather you come and be I love your artwork. Do whatever you want. You have free reign. Oh. And I make you some dope shit from my brain.
Wow. Okay.
It's the more you give me, the more you put me in the box.
Yeah.
The worse that artwork's gonna be, bro. Because you're limiting what I can do with it.
Fair enough.
I don't know if you just saw the.
Is that across the board for most artists?
Artists I've talked to, yeah, dude. The more you have a client that wants a very, very specific image, right? It gets so frustrating when you're I made this dope art for you, and they're I need this change, this change. Revisions is one thing, but it's I've had clients where I'm changing 5 or 6 things, revising 5 or 6 things. They're going back and forth, to fit their exact expectation. And it's whatever expectation you have in your brain of what I can do might not be what I can do.
Yeah.
It's a bigger compliment for me for someone to trust me enough to come up with a vision. Did you see that nuclear, the mushroom cloud I just did?
That was pretty sick.
So this guy, Mad Gear, I hope it's Mad Gear. I'm not fucking that up. He literally just, I love it. I love your art. I just want something from you. And we talked, and he's just give me a nuclear cloud in your style. And I was
cool.
can I get weird with it? And he was like, make it Vandal, dude. Do you? And so I literally walked by the TV when my boys were watching Adventure Time. You ever watch that? And there was like, I just saw like a explosion, and it was just like ghost skulls going everywhere.
That's pretty
and
cool.
That was the inspiration. So I took it, and then I did with my color palette of like the maroon and the teal.
Yeah.
And I thought it went hard. And he loved it. And I'm like, that's so much easier than someone who's coming like, I want specifically this with this color palette and this style. I'm just like,
That's fair. That's fair.
And like as an artist, like half the fun for me is brainstorming. Like one of my first commissions was for Dark Eyes Co. And their logo is a raccoon.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's 3 of us. Our logo's a raccoon. I mean, just give me a download. Like, just tell me about your business. And he told me. And so I'm like, I heard 3 guys in raccoon. I'm like, what if I made Cerberus, like the guardian dog of Hades, but as a raccoon?
Yeah. And
so that's what I did. And they fucking trust me to do it. And I'm like, he probably wouldn't have thought of that.
That's pretty
right.
cool.
It was just something that organically happened. I thought was badass. So if you want art done by me or other people, trust your artist, right? You want them for a reason. Like when I go, I'm fully sleeved by a singular artist besides the middle tattoo. I literally went up to him one day and I was like, hey, I want to, the military just changed the regs so I could get a half sleeve. I'm like, I have this skull with the Arizona flag. I want to do a half sleeve before they take this right away from me. And he's like, what do you want? I'm like, some cactuses. And he's like, anything else? I'm like, whatever the fuck you want. And he's like, seriously? I'm like, dude, go buck wild. Because I know I'm going to get the best quality out of my tattoo artist if he's making something he's excited about.
Yeah.
You know, versus doing another Pinterest tattoo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so literally all this, I'm just like, whatever the fuck you want. I'm like, vulture would be cool. He's like, you want to do a scorpion? Yeah, let's do a scorpion. I was like, I want to do a revolver. He's like,
really good,
you want some roses around it? I was like, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I'm like, what else is desert? He's like, you want a javelin? I'm like, give me that angry pig. And so I got my angry pig.
That's pretty bad.
You know what I mean?
Dude. Yeah.
So trust your artist. Like, you want to do art together, dude? We can brainstorm. I mean,
what about a chupacabra?
Oh, I've been wanting to do a chupacabra. I've tried. I feel like I'm at a level in that's where I can do it. But we also have some art for Meet Your Maker sitting in the background too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That one's pretty badass.
Yeah. We got some patches and stuff coming up too.
So back to Dream Club. So obviously art with me. Anybody else come to mind that you like? I hope you see this so we can work together. Or you just like you're living out your best life, which is a possibility.
I don't know, dude. Like there's a couple of people that have reached out to me from different companies that have all wanted to collab and stuff, and it's on me at this point because why I need to provide a product in order to collab with.
You need to feel confident in your own business before you work with somebody else.
Yeah, because my brand isn't necessarily about me as an individual.
Yeah, I guess we differ there.
So yeah, so I can't really just market it towards my individual self.
Which your individual self is great.
Yeah,
you should.
So like, whereas like say like Gypsy Walters.
Oh, I'm blocked.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, he blocked me.
Oh.
I called him out for stealing art.
Oh.
Yeah. He blocked me, deleted the post. It wasn't my art he stole.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Might have to cut this part.
Maybe. I don't know, because I know a lot of people that are pretty cool with him. So
I know the people that are cool with him too. I know he does a lot of genuine shit.
I know nothing about him.
I've never met him personally. He took some art from an artist in Arizona and Tucson that I've loved for years. Dude, I'll show you later. It's fucked.
All right.
Sold merch with it on it, and I just called him out.
Hey, I want everybody to be aware. Me as an individual, I base no opinions until like I myself have seen facts and things of that nature. So, if there are individuals that are watching right now that are getting a little sour about things we might say, just know I have no opinions towards him one way or the other. I don't know.
No. I'm sure he's a great person.
Yeah, for sure.
I have nothing against him.
Is, no offense to you or anything. I love you, but it's just your word for it.
100%.
And
that's how you should all be. Like, don't take my word for it. Like, I'm blocked. Yeah. I loved his art. I was a big fan of his. Yeah. It's the one issue I had, and I literally all I did was I tagged the original artist, and I got blocked. Instantly. Yeah. I
don't know. Maybe there's some kind of underlying story there.
Could be.
Maybe.
If he wants to come on the podcast, let me know. There's no bad blood. I mean,
we'd love to have anybody on.
Dude, the art theft in our sphere of Instagram is insane. Yeah. I still follow people who I know stolen art and talk to people who stolen art, and like it's cool. Like, hey, shit happens. Like, you think something's really dope, and you want to do your take on it. And like
I'm not an artist, but I've had art that I've had commissioned be stolen. So
I've heard that's more fucked in my opinion.
Yeah, so I had a particular piece of artwork made by an artist called Foo and Monies. Super cool guy.
I don't have receipts. I don't agree with this.
He did my artwork for the logo and a lot of my other artwork and stuff like that.
He stole art?
No.
Okay.
No.
Cooter, were you tracking that this guy stole art?
No.
You were? Okay.
No, Foo and Money's made my original art that I had commissioned that had gotten stolen from somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah, so he made me a piece of artwork that I commissioned.
And someone stole his art.
And he gave it to me. I had posted it as kind of, because like sometimes I would get art made just for the sake of to make a post.
Yeah.
And I had the piece of artwork was basically the Gringo skull. And it was a scene from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yep, I know exactly the art you're talking about.
And they were looking over their shoulder like this.
Yep.
And somebody had taken that exact artwork and barely altered it.
Yep.
And burned it onto a piece of wood, or was like selling it as like a plaque or something of that nature.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is this, dude? I was like, that's our artwork. Like nowhere else has that exact artwork.
Yep.
And that's the exact artwork that I had specifically commissioned.
You feel violated.
Yeah, it was like, dude, I paid money for that. Yeah. Like, you can't just fucking go grab that and then just use it for whatever the fuck you want.
I recently had a security forces unit in the Air Force try to take my art and put it as a unit patch, which, cool, badass, right? But at the same time, like my watermark's still on it, and it was a commission, so I wouldn't give them rights anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But luckily, the company hit me up like, hey, we saw your watermark. And I was like, that's why we do it, baby.
Yep. That's where you do it.
But no, I mean, backtracking, Gypsy Walter, yeah, his personality is built around him, his tattooing out of barracks, shit like that. Like, the vibe, dope, right? Yeah. It's just one thing happened. I wish I could still follow him. Like, I really have no bad blood with the guy. Yeah. You know, it was probably an honest, it was a mistake, right? We might not call it on. It was a mistake, and it happens, right? But like you're saying, you build your brand off of a product, and you don't have that product. So I get that it's hard to be like, I'll collab with you, but I don't have proof of concept.
Yeah, and some other people want to have me have that product so that they can collab in tandem with the hoodie. So like,
just never white label it.
What's that mean?
Okay, so white labeling is basically like you're a wholesale. Like you have these hoodies and you sell them to other companies to sell. Don't do that shit. No, it's all Gringo.
No, it's gonna be all Gringo always.
Good. But and no dream collabs come to mind. Gypsy Walters, maybe.
Sure. No. Obviously, like I was starting out, big fanboy of Ed, big fanboy Sneak Reaper.
We need him on the podcast.
Freaking sure.
You are.
Such a brand.
I have a revolver on me right now.
Such a brand whore. But no,
it's not a brand whore if it's the homies.
Was always one that I wanted to do a collab with, and I had taken a counter custody class that Ed was hosting last year. Introduced the hoodies to him, and he loved it. He loved the hoodie. He was giving.
He was wearing it the other day.
Yeah, I was surprised. I don't ask him to do any of that stuff. Like I never have. And
this is a good person right there.
He's a great dude. He's the best people, and
I really want to meet him.
Just meeting him in person, like you get his vibe. Like he's a legit person, legit dude. So, but yeah, I always wanted to do that collab, and then yeah, I'm open for business.
Hit him up. All right, last question. I'm wrapping up the podcast because we've been talking for a minute.
How long we at, Cooter?
2:10. 2:10. Not bad.
Not bad.
Good interview.
Yeah.
Dived into a lot. I just have one last question for you.
Sure.
What's next? What's next for Gringo Tactical? What's next for Holden?
Well, I'm getting back into training a lot with firearms.
Hell yeah.
I'm doing that a lot.
Now that you got a California.
Yeah. If there's any classes or stuff, hit me up. Might be interested in going and stuff.
Dude, you wanna hit some? Sure. I got some lines.
Sure. We'll hit up some people.
I'll do some CQB with a revolver, dude.
Hell yeah.
You think I'm fucking joking?
Hell yeah.
You think I'm kidding?
That's badass.
Give me 5 shots.
Clear.
Give me 5 shots and a Bowie knife. A 40 of 150.
Get my big ass back into shape.
Hell yeah.
Been off the handle for a little bit.
I felt really bad about how much I called you fat last podcast.
That's all right, dude. I needed it.
Yeah. You said bully you. I did.
Yeah, that's all right. Get back in the gym a little bit. The gimnasio. Just keep making friends. Keep enjoying life. Be nice to my wife.
Hell yeah.
She loves me. I love her. Love her to death. That woman puts up with so much of my shit.
It worked.
She puts up with this. She
puts up with me being here.
She puts up with my obsession with fucking hobo sex and guns.
You love sex.
Drug rugs and everything. So
it's a good woman.
Her. She's a great woman. I couldn't do any of this without her. So, well, thank you to my wife for putting up with me.
I hate to bring it up, but I noticed that you didn't mention the podcast for What's Next. Dude. What the fuck's going on there?
Podcast for What's Next?
Just continuing doing the podcast. 100 episodes, baby. That's the goal.
Oh yeah. Well, obviously, I mean, that was a given.
I mean, I'm just a little offended.
That was a given. No, I think next episode we're gonna interview you.
I get a yap.
Yeah, we're gonna interview you. Let you run your gums a little bit. I've been over here running my gums for 2 hours now.
You've been doing great. I feel like these people got a better idea of who Holden is and meeting their maker.
Still a lot more. It's a
lot more, and we'll get over the course of the podcast.
Can only put so much into so much time.
Yeah, for sure.
We're recording this at night on a weekday, on a school night, so
it's winter break. School's out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll keep doing the podcast, and then I think after you, it's just getting guests in here. We got to spruce up this studio a little bit.
Beautify it. HGTV, hit us up.
Yeah. If you guys got any pointers or anything like that, please let us know.
We should do just a wall of Coors and just start buying the cardboards like they do in college frats, where it's just the wall of the boxes.
God. Yeah, we should.
I should. Might get us a sponsorship.
Oh my God. Who?
Might get us a sponsorship from Coors. Banquet. Might.
Oh, you might.
No, if we do like a wall of just banquet cardboard, might get us a sponsorship.
I still want the still on the cider core bus, dude.
That's true. We'll get him on the pod.
Yeah, we'll get him on here.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate you taking time and talking about yourself. I know talking about yourself is never easy. At least it's not for me.
Yeah.
You killed it. You did great. Been talking for a long time.
Yeah.
You talked about a lot. You were vulnerable. We appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
I hope the listeners at home appreciate it as much as I do.
Yeah.
And I think that's a wrap for episode 2. Any closing thoughts?
Nope.
All right. Well, with that, we love you.
I love you too, man.
All right. And then viewers at home.
Yep.
I love you.
Love you too.
Say it back.
I love you.